Going all gas, no break. Welcome to Canton Chronicle Live. I'm your host, John Camo. Some of you know me by my Twitter name as well, Dixie Dormus. And our show wouldn't be a show without my co-hosts, Eric D. and Boozy B. So, as I bring them on, you know what to do. Run to the fridge, grab your pricks and ciders, text all the Cronks, tell them Canton Chronicle is live. Hey, Eric.
Hey, John. How you doing, buddy?
What's going on?
Well, I got to tell you, I've been part of the Canton Chronicle thing now for a couple of months, and I'll tell you, the last week on the Facebook page has been out of control. It's like a full-time job approving the amount of people that are coming in. So it's good to see. It's obviously a testament to the good work that you're doing, obviously, and hopefully I'm contributing to that.
And Boozy too. And Boozy's going to be in a couple minutes. She's there was a technical difficulty, but she'll be in a minute. So, all right, folks, grab your popcorn and your pricks and ciders or your legal textbooks, because tonight we're joined by the man at the center of what could have been Canton's most avoidable constitutional disaster, not named Karen Reed. So, all you Cronks out there haven't heard about his name in any court filings or suppression rulings, but tonight you will. We're going to hear how the Canton Police Department tried to explain how a legally licensed gun owner ended up with a search warrant on his locked car, with him right by it, over absolutely nothing. He was accused, searched, spun through the legal meat grinder, only for a judge to say, yeah, this never should have happened. So joining us now is Alec Stella, the man who didn't just beat the charges, but exposed how sloppy affidavits, poor training, and questionable judgment at the Canton Police Department can unravel the whole entire investigation. And along with him is a true heavyweight in the Massachusetts legal arena with over 4 decades of courtroom experience. Yep, since 1980, Stephen J. Weymouth has been on the front lines of justice, defending the accused, standing up for civil liberties, and earning the reputation as one of the most respected and reliable voices in criminal law. Mr. Weymouth brings not just knowledge, but heart to his practice. Some have seen him weigh in on high-profile cases and local and national news. He's a proud graduate of Suffolk University Law School. Go SU. He's a hometown legal mind who spent decades navigating Massachusetts courtrooms with professionalism, precision, and passion. Please welcome to the Chronicle, Attorney Stephen J. Weymouth.
Thank you.
Hey, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Of course.
This just kind of fell into our lap, and we really do appreciate you guys spending a couple minutes with us tonight.
Of course.
Yeah.
Great.
So we'll get right into it. First off, Mr. Weymouth, Stephen Weymouth. Can I call you Stephen?
You can call me Steve if you want, either one.
Steve, thank you. Can you just give us a quick, brief summary of your history here in Boston?
Okay, I was born in Dorchester back in 1951. Spent a couple years here and then moved with my family to Cincinnati, Ohio, where I graduated from high school and then eventually went to Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. And as soon as I finished Miami, I moved. I'd lived in Boston a couple times in the past, moved to Boston, moved into Dorchester, and I've been there ever since. And I went to law school at Suffolk at night, graduated in 1980, and became a member of the bar in February of 1980. And except for a 3-year stint where I worked for the Committee for Public Counsel Services as the head of a juvenile defender program, now called the Youth Advocacy Project, I've been in private practice with 1 or 2 other lawyers, doing mostly criminal law, but other types of law as well.
Wow. Our other co-host, who's not on screen right now, she's actually a Dorchester person, so she's throwing her hands in the air for you.
We love Dorchester people.
Boozy, can you hear us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Boozy's in here. She's in Dorchester. I didn't say the rat part, but I mean, I said it. I frequent many places in Dorchester, so I can't say that.
Listen, it's not a bad thing to say a dot rat. That's what we are. It's okay.
Yeah.
I was the president of Dorchester Youth Soccer for over 25 years, and my sons were younger. And I got to learn a lot about Dorchester, different neighborhoods, and that's how I did it through Dorchester Youth Soccer.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that.
Great program.
And I used to play too.
Yeah.
Real? Did you? I know it's not Dorchester, but did you play a lot up in the like up in South Boston there at the past there, like heading towards the Sullivans there? You know, all those fields, all those soccer fields there past the state police barracks.
Circle. Where? Oh,
Yeah.
not very often. South Boston is, like in a lot of ways, very insular. And South
Yeah.
Boston youth soccer, there are other soccer programs in the city of Boston that sort of collaborated more than the South Boston. South Boston community and the Haitian community really didn't participate much. So we played mostly in different parts of Dorchester until 2001, 2 days before September 11th, when the park, now called Pope John Paul Park, the old Neponset Drive-In, the old, there was a dump there, is broken up into two drumlins, an active drumlin, a passive drumlin, and the active drumlin kids play youth soccer there. It's a great, great place, and it's been good for Dorchester youth soccer over the past 24, 25 years.
Oh yeah. I used to skate in Dorchester over there at the rink there in the Neponset.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll give the backstory. Alec, it was a minor workplace scuffle at the Amazon warehouse here in Canton, right? And what, so it was April 21st, 2022. Amazon workplace, police get called. Do you want to give us just a little story of,
Yeah. So
the initial call?
Yeah. So minor scuffle between me and a coworker who was a friend, is a friend, whatever you want to call it. But it shouldn't have obviously got so out of hand as it did. But ultimately, police were called, and I still don't really know what they were called for. Either a assault and battery or guns. I'm not even 100% sure what the actual call was that they arrived for. But by the time they arrived, it was probably at least 15 minutes after the initial incident. And by that time, I was already back at my vehicle, sitting in my vehicle, waiting for them to arrive.
And how many were the first? So, because we know how there was at least 5 at one point.
Yeah. So it was, I believe, 2 officers that arrived on scene first, and they were decent. They weren't trying to violate any rights or anything. They weren't giving me a whole run around of the, we want to search your vehicle. They didn't even jump to that just yet.
Okay.
It wasn't until the other.
It wasn't until Sergeant Lank shows up is when things go off the rails.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so do you want to give us a little description of how your interaction with Sergeant Lank went?
So Lank, the first thing he said to me when he arrived was, "Hey, I'm not worried about improper storage. I'm not he said something else. I'm paraphrasing here, but I specifically remember, "Hey, I'm not worried about improper storage. Do you got any ghost guns?" And I'm like, "Ghost? Why are you asking me about ghost guns? What are you what are you talking about? Why are you asking me about ghost guns?" And he's like, "I want to know if you got ghost guns. Do you got ghost guns?" I'm like, "No, I don't have any ghost guns."
And for people in Canton that don't know what a ghost gun is, it is one that doesn't have a serial number.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Hence the name. Can't be.
Yeah,
tracked.
which as someone who's licensed, it's not illegal to have either. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so that's what he asked me. Tell him no. He asked what guns I have.
And right now, and you're right by your vehicle, correct?
Yes, I'm right by my vehicle.
And your vehicle's locked.
Yeah, my vehicle's locked.
Okay.
At this time, my vehicle's locked, and I'm right by it. I'm no more than 5 feet away. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So he asked me about the guns. I tell him where my guns are and where they are in the car. And I even offered for them to see them, but I would have to go in my car to take my bags out. They didn't want to let me do that. So I told them, I'm like, you're not going to search my car.
Okay. And so was it, who, I just want to get, so somebody asked, they want to go through your car, and you're like, no, I'll get it for you if you want, but you're not going through my car. Was that Lank, or was it another one that before Lank, or was it like, who was the one really pushing?
Lank was the one pushing.
Yeah.
But during that entire time, so one of my problems was I was detained for more than an hour and a half. And during at least, I want to say like 70% of that time, I was just standing around. The other officers were around, more showed up. But Lank, after my discussion with him, the first initial discussion, he hops on the phone and he's just walking back and forth on the phone for like 45 minutes, trying to figure out, how we're going to get this kid. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what it was. So I didn't talk to him for the rest of the time. And I told him, like I said, you're not going to search my car. I'm more than help. I don't mind getting my guns from my bags and giving you guys the bags. You're not going to my car.
And you showed them your LTC, which they physically took from you.
Yeah, they physically took that. They took that on scene, especially after everything got settled. But Lank goes on the phone for 45 minutes, just walking back and forth, and I'm looking at him. And then I remembered to pull my phone out and start recording.
Yep.
So I wish I pulled out my phone and started recording from the jump
right away. And that's what everybody's. I mean, it seems not just Canton, but all over the place.
Yeah, everybody's doing it.
We've seen that at the time of your incident, they didn't have body cameras.
Body cameras, exactly. They did not.
So your best bet is your camera.
Exactly. So for anybody watching, pull your phone out immediately when you're
in. Have a dash cam. Have some. I mean, it in this day and age of technology, that's unfortunately where we're at. That
exactly
everything has to be recorded.
Yeah.
So they call a tow truck.
Yeah. So he comes back after, like I said, I'm there about an hour and a half now, and probably like the last 10-15 minutes of just standing there. He comes back to me and he's like, "Yeah, so we're gonna tow your car for improper storage." And I'm like, "Improper storage? What are you talking about?" And I also have my phone out, like I said, recording around this time. And I'm like, "So what happened to not caring about improper storage?" And he's like, "Oh, I didn't say that." I'm like, "You did. You definitely did."
Well, he's on camera now.
He's like, "Oh,
he's on camera now, so
yeah, exactly. He's on camera now, so you can see the whole switch up of what he was on. But he also said something that stuck with me too. Was he was like, "Yeah, we're towing your car for improper storage," which you admitted to. Then I was like, if I admitted to committing a felony, why am I not getting arrested?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So they didn't arrest you there.
No, I did not get arrested.
So they towed your car and you were free to go.
Exactly.
Did you, at what point? And I'm just curious as how far before you called Mr. Weymouth here. When did you realize, like, I
think I called you the same day, right, Steve?
You did.
Yeah, I called him the same day.
All right. So Steve was up to speed right away.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. All right.
He
So
always is.
yeah, of course. I mean, hey, that's the sign of a good lawyer. So, okay. So they tow it back to the Canton police station, and Lank applies for he applies for a search warrant.
Yes.
And he gets it. Mm-hmm. Now that wasn't something. So, like I said, somebody, I went over. I had someone go to Stoughton. We pulled the files. What they had. That the application wasn't, I don't know if they're ever in the files or not, but that wasn't in there. So I don't know exactly what he asked for, that they got permission, how he twisted things, or however it was written in order for them to give him the warrant.
Yeah, you remember?
Yeah, but I haven't read his affidavit in a while.
Yeah,
but
I know.
I think his argument is that there was a case that came out right around the time of Alex's case.
Yep.
And I think Link was taking the position that even though the guns were locked in the vehicle and Alec was standing outside around the vehicle, I think he was taking the position that at some point Alec was going to go into the building and he would no longer be around the vehicle. And Link was saying, well, because they're not stored properly inside the vehicle, however, a lockbox or whatever, that's what I think he was saying as far as the affidavit was concerned, getting the search warrant.
Also with my restrictions on my license.
But the license to
Correct.
hunt.
Because
That's
you
right.
have a LTC for hunting and target.
Exactly.
Right.
But once again, so hypothetically speaking, when they pull up, they can't get a warrant on what they think you would do in the future.
Exactly. That was so. Even the judge, I think he put it in his decision.
We have
said
that
that-
decision.
Yeah, he said that the restrictions are unenforceable.
Correct.
Yeah.
So okay, so the warrant Lank filed claimed you might be violating laws about hunting and target shooting while your firearms were locked in your car.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like he was the one on the fishing expedition.
Okay. 100%.
So-
He wanted it was a ghost gun fishing expedition.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what it was. And he was mad
So-
that he couldn't get it. Pretty much.
Yeah, and in his report, his was 5 pages. Lank's affidavit was 5 pages of what went on. This description of what went on that morning, that day, and he said that you repeatedly told officers that the firearms were secure in your vehicle and that you were licensed. And they did ask. We just went through this. They did ask if you were making a ghost gun, they, like I said, they still seized your car. So they seized it, they towed it, they went through it, right?
Yep.
And this is when they decide they're going to now charge you with all these extra charges.
Exactly.
And this is where Steve, this is where he really shines, because this is where you had a problem with all these charges. Steve.
Well, yeah, I mean, they were serious, but they weren't
Yeah.
that serious at this point. I don't mean that in a bad way, but
Correct.
I mean, I thought the affidavit was insufficient for the issuance of the search warrant, and the clerk just issued the search warrant, basically rubber stamped it. And it turns out that was the best move we made, is getting that search warrant because of what eventually happened. And that's really how the case was dismissed, because Judge O'Malley allowed the motion to suppress, claiming that there was no right to get a search warrant. There was insufficient evidence, probable cause, for getting a search warrant.
Exactly.
But that's where it started.
Correct. This is just, and I don't know the answer to this. Is it when local police are going to get warrants? Is it something that's because they usually go in front of a clerk magistrate to get a warrant some of these times? Is it just something that because they have such a working relationship, more often than not they're going to get this? They're going to get it?
I think that's a fair statement. That's a very fair statement.
Yeah.
There is a worker. I mean, that's what the police do. They go to they fill out an affidavit with an application for a search warrant, and they give it to a assistant clerk magistrate who reviews the application, reviews the affidavit, and makes a determination as to whether or not the affidavit of the officer has basically established enough probable cause for the issuance of the search warrant. And that's what happened in this case.
Okay.
Just so the audience knows, this is all at Stoughton District Court as well.
It is.
And
It
this
is.
was in 2022 when this happened.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so they I don't want to say tied you up for a year, but I mean, yours lasted a year of motions and hearings, for whatever. And I talked to Alec about this. I said, listen, I read this. I'm not going to, I mean, there's, what do you call those? When you have ADD, sorry.
ADHD.
Yeah. What's the prescriptions that you?
Adderall.
Adderall.
Adderall. The kid. Yeah. There you go. I think I need it now. Jeez.
Probably
I
help
only
you.
said that. I only said the name just 10 minutes ago. So you had a prescription for Adderall. When they searched the vehicle looking for the guns, they went through other things too.
Yes.
How do you? So hypothetically speaking, what if a this is just random? If a police agency finds a warrant to look for, say, 2 firearms, and they go through your vehicle and they find the 2 firearms rather quickly, shouldn't that end the search?
Exactly.
Well, one of the arguments I made was that the search of the backpack in which the drugs were allegedly found exceeded the scope of permission of searchability, if you will, given by the clerk magistrate in the search warrant. It was to look for guns, to see if they are properly or improperly stored, and really to look around to see whether or not there were any ghost guns or any other firearms that maybe weren't properly stored, specifically ghost guns. One of the arguments I made was doesn't make any sense to search in a small side pocket of a backpack looking
That
for
it wouldn't fit.
wouldn't fit.
Right.
So we were just looking, any pocket in that backpack was searched. In fact, that's where the items were found, the smaller items were found. And my argument was, well, that's the search warrant gave authority to search for guns, and you can't hide a gun in a backpack. So that was basically one of the arguments that was made.
Right. It's almost as like, let's see how many other things
Yeah,
are going on here. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean-
they couldn't find what they wanted to find, and then so they found something
And
else.
and like, and, so some of the things when once again, and we'll get into the judge's decision, but some of the things that Lank possibly did wrong was, so one of the things was the insufficient probable cause, and because in his affidavit he states that you were always at or near your locked vehicle, which had firearms in it, and you were licensed to carry those. Just having them in the car was not legal. And then he misapplied legal standard. He failed to show that the firearms were stored in violation of mass law, and the judge did cite a precedent that says as long as they're within your control or close enough to prevent unauthorized use, it's not a violation.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
And then I think the case that Mr. Weymouth was referring was the Ray's case, in which the judge, the Ray's case had there was a firearm hidden in a T-shirt in a basket across the room from where children were, and I think we'll see it in the decision. The judge basically said that he wasn't storing it in that case. He might have thrown it in that case when the police showed up. So that's how, it was in the guy's possession. He wasn't storing it in a basket. So technically, or I don't know, I mean, I'm not a lawyer. That's why, Mr. Weymouth is. There is a possibility that you might have a case for unlawful search and seizure, which is 42 USC 1983, because you were licensed, your car was locked, they searched it anyways. These could be potential civil rights violations.
I'm not so sure, in the sense that the defense would be by Link. I got a search warrant from the clerk magistrate, and I did what the clerk magistrate said I could do in the search warrant. So I think that's going to be a problem as far as that is concerned. That's one problem, but
Yeah.
the only problem. So
Yeah.
But if he knowingly or recklessly left out some of the facts when he applied for it, like the legal gun license, or exaggerated the danger to get that, couldn't that also weigh in?
it could. I think his argument is going to be, again, Alec was not there to stand by the car outside all day long. His job, he was going to go into the office where he was going to work. I think the cop was saying, well, gee, that's not really in his immediate control. this is really what he can control.
Right.
But
I never even got a chance to store my guns. That kind of goes into the whole thing of it. It's like there are so many, at least in my eyes, there are so many things that kind of just went overboard from the interaction with Lank and how it changed from one thing to another, and then he just ran with it. And all the things that kind of just went on during that year, like you said, it jammed me up for a year. He gets paid off of this.
Well, there you go. So, let's look into it. So your vehicle was towed and seized. How long did they have your vehicle for?
Not long, actually. I got my stuff back that following week, maybe like 2 days later. I was actually very surprised. Yeah.
Okay.
But it ruined everything I had going.
Well, you had to get a lawyer.
Yeah,
that costs money. That costs money.
Too much money. You know what I'm saying?
No, lawyers are always lawyers.
Well, yeah, he's he does the great job. So he's working every penny. But I had a career set up from it. I was gonna go into the security sector. I got my gun license, I think the year or maybe like 2 years before that. I was even thinking about being a cop at one point, and this whole interaction just ruined it. Everything and like I said, I got jammed up for the year from just the court case, but reputation was ruined. I couldn't get a job.
You said not the whole interaction, but basically the interaction with Lank.
Yes,
there were officers. I mean, there was 5 there, but one of the officers was really nice to you.
Yeah. So the first 2 initial officers, they were pretty decent. One of them was actually really cordial and cool, and he even said, like, I think you're good. Like, obviously he was like, my superiors are on their way though, so we got to see what they say. But it's like, I think you're good. He told me that. I think you're good. Like, don't stress out. Cause I was getting a little nervous, but I was like, he said I knew my rights and I knew exactly what I was saying, and he knew my rights. It wasn't until when Lank came around and said what he said, and I looked at that officer. I'm like, you're not going to say anything? And he just looked down.
Well, superior. No one usually speaks up to their superiors.
Superiors, exactly. So
right, you fall in line, which everybody.
I understand it, but it's like you're violating this dude's rights right in front of everybody, and you are, and that's why I was like, you know what, that just ruined my whole perspective on.
So they physically kept your LTC.
Oh yeah, they physically kept the LTC. I had to turn in all my guns that I did own, and that was a roller coaster itself. Because
it's like I don't want to liken it to trading cards or cars. It's like cars.
It is cars.
People collect, not just because it's a firearm. They collect certain types. It's a collection. I mean, it is what it is. People, you have people that collect art. You have people that collect cars. Right. So this was firearms, which is technically, these days it's a commodity.
My collection was worth anywhere between $23,000 to $30,000.
Have you gotten back what they took? The guns and the license?
No, my license is pretty much suspended indefinitely. So
even though you did nothing wrong, nothing wrong.
Yeah.
So is there any recourse for that? Like, how would you go about saying, hey, a judge ruled that this was wrong for them to do. I did nothing wrong. A judge ruled I did nothing wrong. Why do I still not have my LTC?
Yeah, it was. I tried it, didn't work because that was out of Stoughton, and I got my license out of Milton, and Milton is under Quincy Court. So I'm pretty sure the judge's decision had nothing to do with what they got going on, and they for sure wasn't giving me my license back without a judge's decision saying so. And
Stephen,
jurisdiction.
so, Stephen, I noticed some of your background is in firearms. Do you see this often, that sometimes it's maybe they have arrested not the wrong person, but they weren't right. The police weren't right, but yet the person isn't made whole.
Yeah, I don't do much getting your license back or LTC. In fact, I put Alec in touch with the lawyers who do that more than I do. And just apply for the process all over again, go to Milton, let the chief of police deny his application, then take an appeal to the Quincy District Court. I'm not sure what the outcome of that was, but I also suggested maybe Alec think about moving somewhere else for the time being, applying
and applying in another town. Yeah,
it just doesn't seem fair.
right.
And plus the decisions rendered by the United States Supreme Court about right to firearms, right to carry, right to have licenses, it seems like the Second Amendment is getting an awful lot of protection and support these days. And that I'm surprised that Alex hasn't been able to get his license back.
Yeah. It's been
Very surprised. He's going to have to appeal that, maybe even to the appeals court, if that's what it's going to take to get it back.
I'm wondering if Alec, if you would figure out a way to. I mean, this is a first step. You know, we're going public with this, and maybe reach out and try to start finding if any other people similar things may have happened to, that where they really they were on the right side of the law technically, but yet they're it's almost like you're being punished.
No, it is. I've reached out. I've found other people in similar circumstances, and pretty much what it comes down to it, at least on at least for the LTC and the suspension, I'm pretty much asked out because I can't apply because my license wasn't revoked. Because I still have a license, it's just suspended, and a suspension is supposed to be temporary, right? But they can make a suspension damn near indefinitely until the next renewal. So I can't technically, even if I move to another
next
town,
time, right? Yep.
Move to another town, I wouldn't be able to apply because they'll deny me off of that. But then I guess you could take that denial, go appeal that denial, get a judge's decision, go back to the other jurisdiction, show that a new judge that decision, have that judge decide. Am I wrong? Or yeah, exactly. So it's a lengthy. And I don't get me wrong, I thought about doing it, but
it costs everything costs money and time, and I mean if you time away from work, it's a struggle. So now we're going to get to the part that really bothered me in all of this.
Mm-hmm.
So over in Stoughton, the judicial ruling that suppressed all the evidence that cleared your name is not in the hands of Stoughton Court, and it's not in the hands of the Canton Police Department. And I didn't, but someone did FOIA request the Canton Police Department, and the email came back. It says, the Canton Police Department do not have any responsive records to this FOIA request. Helena Rafferty, Chief of Police.
Can I see that email? Can you put that up there?
Of course I can.
Let me see that email.
Let's see.
That's crazy.
Here we go. I mean, you'd have to go big here, but good afternoon. The Canton Police Department do not have any records to this FOIA request. Helena Rafferty, Chief of Police, and then Monday, April 21st, 2025. Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And it wasn't in your file in Stoughton.
Everything else was.
So you went to Stoughton and you got a copy of the entire file from the clerk's office, and the motion to suppress was not in there?
The motion to suppress was not in there.
I mean, the decision of the motion to suppress
The
was not in there?
decision was not, nope, the decision was not in there. And it wasn't, and Canton didn't have it either.
Yeah.
Which is, it's only 800 and something days. That's how long ago it was. It was only 2 years ago. Right?
Yeah.
That's a problem. That neither because the fact that you that Canton doesn't have it in their record, and the judges suppress evidence directly impacts how officers proceed in their ongoing related investigations.
Yeah.
I don't know how both the court and the police department lose it.
Also, it's an additional injustice to you.
Yeah.
To not have that piece of paper.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I have the decision. We could go through it real quickly if you don't mind. And then, because in the decision, and I'm not going to read it, but I'll just go through where it says it was the Reyes case was in Holyoke. That was the one we talked about where he had a loaded revolver wrapped in a T-shirt and also a sock and had it in a basket. And then they also said that that you were right here. It said the warrant placed the defendant at all times at or near his locked motor vehicle, which motor vehicle contained firearms to which the defendant was licensed to carry, albeit with restrictions, but they were under your control. And he listed all the different mass laws.
Yeah, exactly.
So so they ordered to you could get your property back.
Yeah, but I didn't really get nothing back from them, to be honest, because Milton took they sent my license over to Milton.
Yeah.
And to kind of backtrack here, the day of the incident, I already knew something was gonna, police report. Being a licensed owner out here in Massachusetts, your name pulls up in a police report and they're coming for your guns. That's pretty much how it kind of goes. It doesn't even matter if you did anything wrong. They just say, "Oh, you're in a police report. Yeah, we're gonna suspend your license, turn in all your guns." So I knew that was gonna come. I took all my guns, turned them into an FFL, Josh's FFL at J&J Arms.
J&J Arms.
Yeah. And shortly after, apparently, maybe like a little under a week after, and this had to do, I guess, following up from the search warrant that was provided so they could search my vehicle. They called his FFL up, J&J Arms, and demanded he let his gun, for him to give his guns over to the police. I don't know if it was Milton, I don't know if it was Canton, but I do know that ATF was involved.
I'm sure the Canton people know who the ATF agent was, but we'll move on from that. So, are we, Steve? Do defendants have the right to see how their cases are being handled? So, if the police don't even have the ruling, how are they supposed to act within the law?
I'm not sure why we care about. I mean, you who live in Canton might want to care about that. I've heard nothing but bad things about the Canton police for the last 3 years because of the Karen Reed case. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, you can just blame the Canton police for being irresponsible. They don't have a copy of the motion to suppress. They don't have a copy of the decision. They're obviously not training their maybe they're not training their officers based on this ruling.
I wonder if they have a history of this incident at all. I mean, we only had, you're right. We just had an audit, and there was no mention in the audit findings of this case at all. And this seems like a pretty big case that happened in the last 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, and we only asked for the judge's ruling. We didn't ask for your case. I guess I should have FOIA requested the police department to see if they had the rest of your case.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
I would imagine the district attorney's office has a copy. Whether or not they gave a copy to the Canton police, I don't know. Whether or not the Canton police wanted a copy of the decision, maybe not. I've never had that situation before about what does the police department do when it gets a motion to suppress allowed against it as far as the decision of the court. I would think they would use it as training.
Right.
I think the district attorneys, when they would train the police officers, would say, well, here's the case, here's the facts that happened, here's the motion to suppress, here's the decision that allowed the motion to suppress because the police failed to do A, B, C, D. I think that'd be good training for a police department.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Lord knows they need some training.
So we could probably, or if I really wanted to, I could ask the DA's office if they have the
Good.
motion, and if they do, I could copy it or how would you'd have to certify it though, right? To send the copy to the Canton Police and to Stoughton District Court to say, hey, you guys don't have this. You guys might want to put this in the file.
Well, I mean, I guess you
But
could
that's
say
me.
it's certified. They might sign for it, then rip it up. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but if the Canton Police don't have a copy of this, they're not interested in getting a copy of this. They're just
Of course.
Yeah.
Right.
Been 2 years, just not interested.
Yeah. Especially if it makes them look bad.
But I mean, so now, but would there, with Alec, would there be any implications on if he ever got pulled over in town? He's got he's got a file, right? But wouldn't they know that, like, hey, no, he did nothing wrong? Or I don't know. You just like to know what the final end game is with these decisions, with the whole file.
I don't think they care, to be honest. You know what I mean? I don't know. I guess it depends on the cop and how he's feeling for the day.
But wouldn't that paper trail show that they tried to correct their procedural gaps?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Just don't know what to
I
say.
wouldn't know what to say on that one either, but I would probably agree with you on that. But I mean, I'm sitting on my end. I feel like, they just wanted to swing their dangling in front of me.
Well, and then of course, I mean, these are just questions off the top of my head. I'm also thinking, wouldn't that motion to suppress have any bearing on the sergeant in general, on how he goes about his business? I mean, wouldn't that be put in his personnel file?
I doubt it.
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, like, I think you would have to look back on how many complaints he has and other has.
Was
But on
there
top
ever a
of, like,
complaint?
I also complained. I went down there and complained to them about him too. And,
Okay. Did
you
you? So that was. Did you did it in writing?
Yeah, I did it in writing, and then I had an interview with the chief of police before she stepped down, and I think a couple months later, they sent me something. I don't have it. I wish I did, but they said he did nothing wrong.
Well,
Yeah, he did nothing wrong.
But you did nothing wrong too.
Yeah, exactly. But
You're the one that was. So that's what I don't understand. He did nothing wrong. There's no harm, no foul with him. You did nothing wrong. You lost all your firearms. You had your car towed, searched, seized. You had to get a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? That's not fair and
lost my
equitable.
career, everything. Yeah, it was horrible.
And
He
Alex,
gets away with it.
did anything? The whole reason that the police showed up, did anything come of the reasoning behind that? Was there any charges filed for anything related to that?
So the incident. No. He never filed.
I think the police. I think one of the counts was assault and battery.
Yeah, the accounts, but he the Coleman didn't file it. The police station did.
Right.
That's usually what happens.
Oh,
Police file
yeah.
the complaint. I mean, not
They filed.
unless
for
Coleman
the
went in
other
on a clerk magistrate's application for assault and battery. But the police did in fact file a charge of assault and battery,
Yeah.
alleging that Alec hit, what's his name? Coleman. Dominic Coleman.
Coleman,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the '80s anymore, where two guys can get in a fight at work and then shake hands afterwards. You just can't do that anymore.
Exactly.
You can't even yell at each other. You really can't. You
Pretty
can't.
much. I mean,
It's emotional harm.
what pissed me off was he said, "I'm not pressing charges." So.
But again,
They
as I
can do
try to
that.
explain that out, it doesn't make any difference.
Yeah.
No.
In fact, what happened at the end of the day was Coleman didn't show up, so the case got dismissed. That charge had nothing to do with the Canton police or the search warrant or anything. It was an assault and battery, a fight, and Coleman chose not to show up because of probably Fifth Amendment problems. But I kind of like to pivot here to what I know I'm getting the sense that this is not really what people want to talk about, but there's another issue about Lank's behavior that is more outrageous to me than any of this other stuff. No offense to the gun situation.
Okay.
So when the backpack is pulled out and they go through take it to the station, they open up the entire backpack, they empty the entire backpack, and they found 2 items. One item, which eventually was deemed to be a Class B substance, cocaine, was seized. And the second item was the prescription Adderall pills.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at Lank's police report, he indicates that the white powder taken from the first bottle out of the backpack was given some sort of a field test. The police can do it and test to get a preliminary sense of what the product is. And in this particular case, the preliminary sense turned out to be the correct one, and that is it was a Class B substance. It was cocaine, relatively small amount. However, the bigger one, paragraph B in his report, the pink pills stamped AD on one side and 3/0 on the other were tested and given a presumptive positive indicator that they contained fentanyl. Because he goes on to say in his training and experience, these are Adderall pills that are counterfeit, and sometimes dealers cut that Adderall with fentanyl. Now, if in fact the preliminary test really truly showed fentanyl, then I suspect the final test would have shown the existence of fentanyl. And so as a result of that lie by Lank, I'm not even sure it was tested. He says it was tested. This possession of a Class A substance, fentanyl, charged and ramped up to trafficking in fentanyl because it was more than, I forget what it was,
14 grams.
14 grams, something like that.
Yeah.
And it was Alec possessed it in a bag that had 2 firearms in it. So it's possession of a firearm while trafficking in a Class A substance, fentanyl. That rendered this case a tremendously much more serious case than improper storage of the firearms. I know we're focusing on the firearms, but
Yeah.
it was this part of the case that jacked this whole thing up.
Well, that's why you're here.
And it was a lie. I think it was a lie
Uh-huh.
because Lank had enough experience to know that finding these counterfeitly produced, that's the name of the right word, Adderall pills, dealers mixed them with fentanyl. I'm just going to say in my report that these pills had fentanyl in them. And the quantity of the pills that had some fentanyl was suddenly above 14 grams, and that's trafficking. Lank's not stupid. He knew what he was doing.
Right.
And then it turns out when it comes back from the Commonwealth, properly tested, it was just Adderall. There was no fentanyl in it. And so as a result of that, that really helped the case. Though the motion to suppress won the case, because even if that had been fentanyl, it would have been suppressed because it was part of the illegal search. But the fact is that Lank lied about that that in his opinion it had fentanyl in it, and not only his opinion, he gave it was a presumptive positive indicator that it was fentanyl.
That doesn't him saying that he didn't test it. They would have normally said there was a field test done. Fair to say.
I think that's what he was trying to say, that he did something on the scene.
But that's what I'm
to
saying.
make it sound like it was fentanyl, and then hoping he was right.
So either way, it's getting suppressed. Right.
Well, I mean, either way it was going to get suppressed. It didn't make any difference. But the fact is that at the time he presumptively tested the fentanyl, he didn't know it was going to be suppressed. He just took his chances and said, what the heck, there's got to be fentanyl here, and we'll see what happens in the future.
I kid you not, when 2 months later when I got my subpoena, was I not shitting? I was shitting bricks. I told my father, I'm like, Dad, we're going to need probably 15 grand for bail. I was freaking out because
red
exactly. What other cases where guys are getting trafficking fentanyl and their bail's not over 10 grand?
So the ironic thing was,
Yep.
when Alec retained me, he had been subpoenaed to court. He wasn't arrested. And so I contacted the clerk's office and said, gee, it's not a good day for me. Can we put this over for a period of time? And the response I got from the clerk's office was, this is a very serious case. The judge doesn't want to do that and wants you to come in. So I had to go in on the day that the clerk's office set it for arraignment. And so, I knew that this was a big deal. We go in. I forget what the bail was that the Commonwealth asked for, but and I was, I don't know about that. But what I was about to say was, I don't mean this in a bad way to Judge O'Malley. I love Judge O'Malley. I've known him a long time. He was a great lawyer. He was a judge. He resigned because his family needed money for college. Then he went back to being a judge. And he and I know each other a long time. I know he respects me. And when Alec and I showed up with Alec's father, and I laid out the facts of the case, he was released on personal. And I think Alec's right. Usually in fentanyl cases, especially trafficking fentanyl cases,
Right.
There's a cash bail.
The minute you say fentanyl,
I'm not saying that's great for
yeah.
that's not a great person or anything, but Judge O'Malley, I think, saw through a lot of this and recognized what really was going on.
Yeah.
And that's why he didn't set a bail.
Because didn't the DA ask you for like a $500 bail?
There was some requirement.
There was cash.
Well, wait, didn't you have multiple DAs though?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's only one at the time of the arraignment.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, okay.
But yeah, I thought that was kind of crazy because I remember you came back and he was like, DA said like 500. And when you said that, I was like 500. I was like, you don't know the wave of relief I had from that. But then when I got on stand and they were like, yeah, no, just personal. I was like,
Well,
I was shocked.
I hope you gave the guy next to you a very big hug, okay?
I told him I could kiss him.
Because I've only spent 52 minutes with him, and I think he is a stand-up guy and one heck of an attorney.
Very much so.
It must be that Suffolk thing I'm coming back to.
I got to be honest with you, though, there was a period of time between looking at the report and looking at the complaints and the issuance of the real test from the Commonwealth, where I believed Alec when he told me that. He made perfect sense, but I was like freaking out, thinking maybe Alec might not know what was in there, but it turned out. In the back of my mind, I always thought, though, that we'll win this case on a motion to suppress, but I'd rather win it getting results back from the Commonwealth indicating it was just Adderall, and that's what turned out to be the case.
Well,
was there ever a concern that this was going to get bumped out of Stoughton District and an indictment into Superior?
Oh, yes. Very, very much so.
Oh, wow. I didn't think of that one. Good one, Eric.
I'm telling you, I was shitting
Both
bricks
of
this entire time.
Both of the DAs indicated to me that the case, usually what happens in the district court, when a case comes in the district court, the district attorney's office has an indictment review committee. And cases that are really serious, including this one, are sent to that indictment review committee. And that review committee makes a determination about whether or not the case should stay in the district court or be presented to the grand jury. Unfortunately, I'm not sure why, but I think the decision was made before the results came back from the Commonwealth that it was really Adderall, not fentanyl, that was going to be kept at the district court level. I'm not sure why. Look, what's the old saying, a gift horse in the mouth, when the DA says to you, oh, no, we're going to keep it here in the district court. I said, oh, okay, good enough. And I really, when I saw the complaint and I saw the report the day of arraignment, it was like, geez, Alex, this could go to the, not that funny. This could go to the Superior Court.
Could have.
I certainly wasn't laughing at the time.
I know he wasn't, but that's why I'm laughing now because his face that he had looking at me, I was just like, God damn, I fucking.
It wasn't just a couple of fentanyls;
God.
it was trafficking, and fentanyl's a big deal these days. So,
As soon as you said, well, I want to thank both of you guys for giving us the hour, walking us through at least something in my mind that never should have happened. At least in your mind too, never should have happened.
could I make one final comment?
You absolutely can say
Absolutely.
anything you want on our show.
I was looking for an opportunity to cross-examine Lank in the biggest way. I
So
didn't
does
really know
everybody
much.
else.
I didn't know much about him. I heard a couple things in court. The case that shall not be named happened about a year later. And who's the name I first see in that case? But it was like, oh my God, it's Lank. Anyway, the day when this decision came out, I don't think he knew that this decision had come out because I was sitting there and I knew it was. And he was sitting off to my right, and he had his whole, his like police report and big file ready to go. And I'm just thinking to myself, well, you're in for a surprise. And so we go up, and the judge says, I'm going to allow the motion to suppress. Commonwealth moves to dismiss the cases, and Link was about to shit a brick. So the bad thing about this is I really wanted an opportunity to cross-examine that guy. So,
Yeah, no.
Wow.
But it-
Oh
yeah.
my-
What was the police officer that was sitting right next to him? He stays in the court for the
Well,
most part.
court officer, maybe.
I mean, I don't.
Police prosecutor.
But
No, no.
he
Yeah.
responds back to like the other stations. I remember he was showing Link like the first cases because I was sitting there too. He was the first charges that got knocked off, and he was like, "What? How is this?" Like I was looking at him, and he was like, "How is this possible?" He was
well,
mad.
He was mad.
so
Big
the
time.
one thing that many of us in town are saying, like we said, as a whole, is that we feel that they do need more training in different areas. I mean, the times are changing, so you know, I think that ongoing education would probably be the best thing, you know, because the way times are changing.
Did you said you grew up in Canton?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
graduated with Lank.
Yeah, there seems something weird about the Canton Police Department in so many ways. I mean, and just the community itself. You know, everyone seems to know everyone. Or, you know, if you're part of the crowd or not part of the crowd.
Yeah, well, because I say it as Canton is a very loyal town. They're loyal to a fault. If you're, you know, if you grow up in the town, you're a townie, so, and something happens, they're all there for you. I mean, and that's a good thing to have, but it's also, you know, if you grow up in that town and you kind of know the right people, you're going to be able to skirt a lot of things, and that's the bad thing in the town. So, I mean, yeah, you get the good and the bad, and then yeah, and then you have some people in positions that are in positions, and I don't want to say that they don't deserve, but I think that they don't do enough to deserve to be in those positions. They should continue to do things to be in that position, and that's just how I think that. I think it's the education part, and I think it's the, and I'm not saying this is in Canton, but I'm saying in general, I never wanted to fund the police, but what I would like to see is less of the blacked out vehicles, less of the military looking, and more of the, you know, getting to know the younger generations so that as they grow up, you know, there's that communication, and there's like, oh my God, hey, there's Officer so and so, and they can run up to the offices. I was at the AC/DC concert last night, and as we were crossing back to the parking lot, the state police had their horses, and I'll tell you that was the one thing that all the little kids, they're all waving they're like, oh, horses, and they're waving, and those officers waving right back to the kids. You know, I mean, it's kind of what you need. You need something that brings them together, and not so that when you do see them, you're not on guard with 5 of them that are there against, you know, Alex. I saw some of the videos. Alex standing there, and there's 5 of them and 3 cruisers or 4 cruisers. It's like, I'm like, all right, at some point, it's
Overkill.
like,
It's overkill.
Yeah.
I always said that we shouldn't be defunding them either, but they do need reform. And you know, I always thought of a way for them to integrate properly, especially into inner cities or whatever, is they need to put 2 years in as a social worker. Inner city kids, you get to know your community. You work with people who are struggling in the community. You know, work with children who are struggling in the community.
there are some officers that do really well with the community youth. There are some. It's just you know, some don't have that opportunity.
Exactly.
But well, thank you so much. So, Mr. Weymouth, you have a law office in town.
Yep, 240 Commercial Street in Boston.
240 Commercial Street in Boston. So if you guys are ever clinked and you're not in Canton and you're looking for a really good attorney, he's over at Commercial Street. He's online.
I'm everywhere.
He likes soccer. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Is that the sport you played growing up?
Oh my gosh, no.
No.
At my age, the first time I ever was exposed to soccer was the year after I left high school, which was the first year my high school had a soccer team. So that was 1969.
Yeah.
I knew nothing about soccer. I had never played soccer.
It's just kicking a ball.
Well, Well,
I'm
the
kidding.
funny
This
thing-
is coming from a hockey player. I'm
Well, I
teasing.
showed up when my oldest son was starting youth soccer. I go to a field. There are like 50 kids there, and I say to the president of the league, with whom I was very friendly, I know nothing about soccer, but these are too many kids to be on one soccer team. You need 2 teams here. He goes, "You want to be a coach?" I've never played soccer before in my life. I ended up walking off the field, being the soccer coach, the field coordinator. But Dorchester we have a great advantage because there's a very large Caribbean population in Dorchester. They love soccer. I was able to recruit a lot of them, and they were sort of the fundamentalist of the group who knew the sport, knew how to teach, knew how to coach.
Yeah.
Anyone can coach a little league team of some sport, but you got to know the fundamentals of the.
Do you have anyone that you remember that actually like really excelled and went off?
Oh yeah,
Any soccer players that?
we have a young kid by the name of and I can't remember his last name. His father was Chicken. Ryan. The last name was Ryan. I forget his last name. He was a left-footed kicker. We could tell at a very early age he was going to be a star. He ended up playing eventually for the Jamaican national team,
Wow.
and he played on 2 or 3 Major League Soccer franchises.
Wow, look at
And
you.
2 others have been. So they were.
And you
they
coached
were
them.
good players. Well, I'd like to say I did, but I really didn't. I got them hooked up with the right coaches. So that's what I did.
Wow,
It was fun.
amazing. Well, the chat went crazy. I didn't put any of them up because I just was so fixed into listening to you guys and your
what?
story.
I want to hear what the chat says. I know you're going to leave.
I gotta go.
He's,
Okay.
But
Thank
I'll
you.
stick around.
Alec, if you want to stay,
yeah.
Steve, thank you
Okay,
so
thank you
much
for
from the bottom of my heart for
Nice
giving us
speaking to you
an
both.
hour of your time.
Thank you, Steve. Really appreciate it.
Right. Bye bye.
I'm going to walk him out, but I'll stick around.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Thank you. So I hate to be, if you don't mind bringing that along, I dropped it off and I can just.
We'll,
Easier.
we'll mute them for 1 minute.
No,
Yeah,
yeah, you mean for like 5
Yeah. We'll bring you right back. All right. Oh, you did it, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
So,
I'm learning.
no, it's fine. And we got Boozy back. Boozy, well, she's been here all along. She's just been quiet.
Hi, Boozy.
Oh my God. Higgy Piggy.
Piggy,
What?
piggy.
Oh, I know. I know.
Oh.
That was the ATF agent.
Oh, that was a bombshell.
I know. And how about like he just said, it wasn't the fact that it was the gun charge. It was the fact that Lank lied,
Right.
right?
But it was from the moment he showed up too. Like that was a
Yeah.
really odd and
Well,
specific
we
accusation.
when folks, it's not completely over. When Alec comes back, we may have some video. Because
When-
remember, he said he had his phone out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yes. So
we have video.
we
Holy
might. We just
my
might.
God. Cat.
Yeah.
Cat. Oh my God.
So,
You know
yeah,
what?
they
You know what I
basically-
thought was interesting with what Alec had to say was that the 2 officers that originally showed up, they seemed to think that he was perfectly fine and everything was above board, and it doesn't seem like there was a lot of communication between the superiors or Lank in this situation and
The communication was Lank and his cell phone.
yeah, I mean, why
Yeah.
not
Right.
take some input from those officers that were there first, and it didn't seem like they thought we were going down a road that was going to lead to any type of arrest or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe
Pretty
maybe a simple, and assault and battery is not simple, but it's certainly not a drug charge and a gun charge.
So we have Nan in the chat. I'm gonna probably have some. Well, he's gonna be back. He's coming back. So Diane, we're gonna have to wait, and we'll leave some of these. He's just walking the lawyer out. I don't know.
He's back.
Oh, he's back. All right, hold on. We'll bring you back on. Did you unmute him? There you go.
He's live.
All right, you're live. Don't say anything bad. All right. Chat's had a ton of questions. How about this one? John, please ask Alex if he knows about the Cape Cod Gunworks incident with the same ATF agent as you do. Because so you were, or still are, into firearms. I mean, you know a ton about it, and you did research the law on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I became pretty fluent along the lines of Second Amendment gun stuff. I try to stay on top of everything that happens in Massachusetts, although some slip through the cracks, like the Cape Cod one. Unless that has to do with that wasn't the state.
How
officer, right?
how did said ATF agent get involved in your case?
Okay, so here it goes. With that one, I didn't expect. Let me just start by saying I did not expect the ATF to be getting involved. I had somewhat, because the ghost gun stuff, because I knew the whole premise of why Lank was swinging his dangling around is because he wanted to find the ghost gun,
Right.
and
because that would have padded his stat right there.
yeah, exactly. I'm sure they would have given. Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, it's like, even if he did find a ghost gun, I'm legally able to have one. At least at the time, I would have been legally able to have one, especially if it was stored properly. Because where was I going? To the range that day, right? I was gonna get off work early, like, I kid you not, clock in at 9, get off at 11, go to the range.
You just put it in your glove box, dude. Glove boxes are your friends. So is the trunk. So is your center console if you can lock it.
Well, yeah, exactly. But the thing is, like I said, I never even got the chance to store it. But I lost track of where I was going here.
ATF.
Oh yeah, the ATF. So and I guess Lank is buddy with him. But so he gets the warrant to search the car. They search the car. But the ATF is involved with the warrant. So I was looking at that like, huh? And it's funny because I got the car back 2 days after the whole search warrant happened. And
the Dodge Charger.
Yeah, my lovely Dodge Charger. I miss her very much. After that, I'm like, okay, things are smooth, things are going all right. I'm trying to just stay positive. I called J&J Arms, and this is where I started shitting bricks a little bit, because I called J&J Arms just to get a little update or keep them updated. And he was like, "Yo, your guns are gone," and I'm like, "What? Where are my guns?"
He's like,
He's like, the ATF called me and said, you need to turn those guns into whoever the fuck. And I don't know if Canton came and got them or Milton came and got them, but I know Milton ended up having them. And I asked them to send them back because they did an inventory. I asked them to
well, then we know it wasn't Canton. No, I'm kidding.
Right. I asked them to send them back to J&J Arms, and they didn't, even though they're supposed to, because I told them where to put them. I told them put them right back where you took them, and they put them in storage. And then I had to pay for J&J Arms, Josh at J&J Arms, to go down there and get them all back to put them back in storage. And it was a pain in the ass, but that's when I knew the ATF was involved, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on here?" Excuse my language.
What? No, that's. I mean, hey. I mean, so that wasn't boozy. That was. You have a dog, don't you? You have a dog?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Somebody else was. Oh yeah. So Brian Higgins shut down a gun store in the Cape as the ATF agent, and he was wrong. Short story version of that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So so you have all that. So that means now a judge rules and suppresses the evidence that Lank, everything that Lank did in your case. Your lawyer flat out thinks he lied.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
And this is now a pattern of misconduct on this guy.
Right? Definitely. Especially my lawyer's intuition on him lying. My point to my lawyer that I was trying to tell him about the whole presumptive indicator. When have you ever seen that in a police report when they say Have you ever seen that in the police report off of a field test? No, they always say field test. I conducted a field test. Field test said this, that, and the third. It's always a field test. They say I conducted a field test and it came with this results. What the fuck is a presumptive assumption? What the fuck is that? That's nothing.
Well,
hey, you know what? Fentanyl. Here you go.
Alec, another safe place for your firearms is in your mailbox. Okay, especially in Canton. In Canton, you can put it in your mailbox. It's one of the safest places. But usually, you got to put your badge with it. So
yeah, exactly.
Right, Buzzing?
My badge. I can draw one up real quick and just put a little paper.
This is what our chat's doing. Our chat was incredible tonight.
Oh man, I wish.
Speaking of our chat, that's incredible. You knew this. Uncle Fredo, right, gave us 1999. Really enjoyed the show, right?
Oh,
So
wow.
Uncle Fredo, I guess Uncle Fredo, you're gonna get McDonough.
Give us fucking McDonough, and we'll go easy on you.
So, Alec, when people give us super chats, donations, we like to give them a little McDonough.
Nice.
Let's see. Ocean Sounds $4.99. Boozy, you know what we're gonna do. And H Rock Doctor. What about the NRA? Have you? That's actually a good question. Have you reached out to the NRA?
Okay, so so I planned on it but I never did it. Only because I had that what the fuck is it called? What's that fucking gun insurance that you get when you get a fucking LTC?
Where's my brother-in-law when I need him on that one?
Oh,
I know.
Yeah. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, they give you the pamphlets and yeah.
Yeah. So I got that insurance, and I called them up, and I was trying to talk to like some, a superior there or whatever. And they just kind of gave me the runaround through the bullshit, and I was just like, you know what? Don't want to deal with it. I'm sorry, but I really would love the NRA to take a fucking look at this case because I know that they would be like. And then I'm gonna be on the poster boards, and I'm gonna be smiling.
Yeah. See, hey, right here. This is one of our favorite lawyers, and she's telling you right now you got to contact the NRA.
Send them the link.
Honestly, I don't know how to
send them this link. Let them watch the show.
Yeah. I was about to say I don't know how I wouldn't really know how to go about it because I mean like I felt I kid you not. I tried to contact Gold. Actually, I did try to contact Gold. They did not give me any call back. I left voicemails, everything. I kid you not. Because Steve, he's my lawyer. He's my main man. Mm-hmm. But like at that point, I was dried up, no money. So, so I was trying to find somebody that would just take a look at this and be like, "Yo, you got something here." You know what I mean? Like. And I told you, like, and when you called me, I got so emotional because for the last 3 years of my life, I've been stuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like guns was my life. Yep. Once I really got into it,
like you said, you had a path that you wanted to go down. We had a conversation yesterday. Yeah. Remember, you said the interaction. One of the things, go ahead, tell us the reason why you wanted to get into policing.
Because I valued our Constitution, and there's good cops, there's bad cops, but I always felt that if I could get in there, or anybody could do it, but if I could get in there, that I would do the right thing. I wouldn't be out here violating people's rights. I mean, if I pull you over for for speeding, you're just gonna get your speeding ticket. I'm not gonna go overboard unless there's reasons to. But
you're not gonna look for the body in the trunk.
Exactly.
Come on.
Yeah, exactly. It's like there shouldn't be any of that. They're public servants. They're not, the king's knights. Like it doesn't make any sense how you see so many interactions with police officers turn sour. And I've seen some go good, and like I would rate the officer A+ until it starts going left, and then the whole interaction is just an F. You know what I'm saying? And whether they get paid extra for it or not, it's like, dude, it's a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, but anyways, the whole interaction though with Lank and the officers only just, it shut it out for me for even thinking about it. My mother was like, yo, you're good at the law. Like, she kept on telling me, you're good with the law. You should be an officer. You should do something. So like that put the bug in my ear. It wasn't until the interaction with Lank and the officers and just watching the initial officers who said, I think you're good, man. You know your rights. I know your rights. You're good. The superiors are coming, but I think you're good.
We may have a minute and a half here or there of the interaction.
Yeah, we definitely do.
We do.
We might.
Do we? We might. We might, or we might not.
You can throw that out there. I don't care.
Okay. What do you want? So I'll give you my own titles, and you tell me what you want. Okay. I'm gonna give you free to go.
All of it.
Body cam, break the window, or LTC. Which one do you want to start with?
Surprised me.
All right, let's go with the body cam. All right, people.
Yeah, I see no body cameras, no nothing. So.
You want to give them the key to make it easier to get in?
No, I don't want to give them the key to make it easier to get in.
It's up to you. I don't even need the key. If you want to unlock it, we don't have to force our way in. You wouldn't even need the key. If you want to unlock it,
Is that easier for you?
I don't have to break anything.
How I know you're not going to go in my car before that?
What, take a ride in it?
Maybe, I don't know. It's been. I mean, some guys like my
Is this
car.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Hey, I'm just look, in my position, you guys know I know my rights, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not a fool to the law, and granted, you know what I'm saying, when you came over here, you was like, I'm not even worried about this, you were talking about a ghost gun, right? And
There was mention of a ghost gun.
yes, okay, so you were talking about a ghost gun, and you said
I can't just turn a blind eye to improper storage.
right, of course, and I get that, but these are all in my direct control in the time being of
But
when
it's
I
not.
had them on.
Right now, it's
right
not
now
your
it is
direct
not
control.
because I'm out the vehicle, and you know what I'm saying, this whole situation, you guys had to talk to me. So regardless of if you pulled me out the vehicle and I had taken my stuff off, it would have been in my direct control.
And you just say, I have 2 weapons on me, then we're cool.
You know what I'm saying?
That's fine if you did that.
But no, it would have been.
Especially
it
you got
been
an
different,
LTC.
You know what I'm saying? I got my LTC.
You got an LTC, you're well within your rights.
First off, you're a horrible cameraman.
I know.
I want to say that before the chat does. I get it though, because you're in the middle of something. You're not like trying to film them. You're just trying to make sure that you're safe. Like, hey, they don't have cameras.
Yeah, exactly. You know what pissed me off about that, like that specific?
No, but you got to tell us.
Oh my God! It's the fact that he was like, "You're an LTC holder. If you just said, yeah, you have 2 guns on you, we were all good." I'm like, "Are you serious, bro?" In my head, I'm sitting here. I'm like, if I would have had my guns on me when y'all pulled up, y'all would have pulled up with your guns drawn, and I would have been face down on the ground, and y'all would have came and collected those guns off me and put me in cuffs, and then finally stand me back up.
Pretty much.
If you would have had your guns on you and you just said you had guns on you,
I don't
it's
know.
all
I don't
good.
know if they would. I mean, I don't think they would have done that in Canton. I mean, rolling up on you at an Amazon warehouse, I think they would have been just like, "Hey, can we talk to you?"
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, let's see about that LTC.
Yeah.
Get my LTC back? Someone
No,
got
not
it.
yet. I haven't. Not yet.
And why is that?
Because right now it's being seized.
LTC is being seized.
Yes.
So does that mean I'm going to have to be turning in all my firearms as well?
Not yet.
So then why am
The
I
licensing authority, Milton, you got it, Milton?
Yes, sir.
They would be the ones to let you know about that.
All right. Well, technically, I can't carry anything if I don't have my LTC.
It's not suspended.
Right, but I don't have it physically on.
You don't have it physically on you.
So-
But they can look it up. You work inside or you a driver?
I'm driving.
He's such a
Well, at
douche.
least they were nice to you. They were nice to you.
He
He
was
was
so-
asking you, do you work inside? You driver? As you watch your beautiful yellow Challenger get Charger. I get the Challenger. Charger get put up
Oh,
on the ramp truck.
You got a Challenger?
I do. I do.
Oh, shit. Oh.
Yeah, Battleship Gray. Battleship
yeah?
Gray. I love it. Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
nah.
but I wear my seatbelt.
Hmm.
Yep.
Smart guy.
Everywhere I go now.
Smart man. I love how he legit tells me to commit a felony pretty much.
Oh, when you asked, I don't have my LTC on me.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, I love how you're telling me to go like commit a felony, bro. Like, how am I supposed to carry? Oh, they can look it up. What? Like, it's not suspended. Yeah, you can carry. Just they can look it up. Like, what? What kind of officer are you, dude? I don't know. That dude.
It's a small town.
Yeah. Small.
Here's where he's gonna break your window.
Right, so I'm just trying to make it clear because, like, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying?
I don't want to break your freaking window. I really, that's not what I'm into. I don't really get off on breaking people's windows. I don't need the key. You can just unlock it when we get the warrant. We go in, we get the guns, confirm that they're yours and that they're either stored properly or not.
I could have just showed you if you guys would have asked me to show you.
did ask me.
No, you asked me to go in my car. I didn't want you to go in my car. I could have definitely showed you.
Kind
And I would have given you,
Here.
I would have given you my bag, and you could have opened it and looked at it. You know what I'm
Splitting
saying?
hairs, Alec. I did ask you.
No, you asked me to go in the car. There's a difference between searching the car and searching the property.
Never asked you to search the car.
Yeah, you did.
No, I
They asked
absolutely
to
didn't.
go in my vehicle.
Well, you have until the time he leaves here to unlock it. If you don't unlock it, then we have to do what we have to do. All right? Up to you. It's your car.
Yeah, it's involved.
And it's unlocked. You caved. You unlocked your car.
Yeah, I didn't want my baby getting smashed in.
You caved. You caved. You had me until you unlocked the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was sad. I didn't want to. You don't understand. I was like grinding my teeth at that point because I was just like, I'm sitting there smiling in his face, trying to keep it cordial, but like in the back of my head, I'm like, I can't believe like how bad you're trying to fuck me right now. You know what I mean? Like you didn't even take me out to dinner yet. Like it was so aggravating. It's like, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think now I wish that maybe that he didn't mess up the warrant and that your lawyer would have had a chance at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I remember, I was sitting in the court. So, was it recess?
Yeah.
Dad, it was recess. We got a recess, right? And And so, because my case hasn't even been called yet, me and my father are sitting outside in the hallways, where the benches are right next to the office in Stoughton. And me and my father is sitting right there. You see Lank walk by. Don't think nothing of it. Lank walks back out. Someone stops him. He's like, "Hey, how you doing?" He's like, who are you here for? Lank's standing right in front of both of us. He's like,
For this kid right here.
Yeah.
He should have just turned and said for Alec. He could have said, I'm here for Alec.
Yeah. No, he the thing is, like I said, at that point, he was already informed that the trafficking charges, the drug charges, all that stuff was already smacked out the door. So he was pissed because he didn't even know that everything else was about to get smacked out.
Like you said, his face turned.
Yeah, he was pretty much red.
So he does all that in your case. He's the guy that handled and transported the red Solo cups in a Stop and Shop bag. He interviewed the witnesses at 34 Fairview. He continued to talk to Jen McCabe, right?
Even my dad knows the red cups.
Now, how about this? Your case was over in 23 before her case even started. You think that the defense would have liked to have seen all his behavior in your case leading into their case?
When I heard about my dad, I love my dad, but his age shows sometimes. But he pulls.
He also never got pulled over by Lank, so stop saying anything bad about your dad.
No.
Okay.
So he's one of the only people I know that still gets the newspaper and reads it, and he'll always, and I love him for this because he always he gets both news. What, the Milton?
Is he going to sign up for the Canton Chronicle? Because we got it in print.
Oh yeah.
Electronic print.
Boston Herald, Boston Globe, and Milton Times. So when the whole case came out and he circled it big with a Sharpie right on the newspaper and left it smacked on the table for me. Guess who was in that was the one with Lank right there. And I was like, yes,
Your guy.
God.
Your guy.
I kid you not, that same day I went to work. I'm like, look, this is the asshole that did. I'm like, I knew he was corrupt. I knew it. I'm like, I knew it. You don't understand how bad, like I said, my lawyer, great guy. Yeah, at one point there was a time during our case where he believed me, but he just couldn't trust what I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, I knew from the start to finish that this case was fucked. And I'm like, it doesn't make sense. Why am I showing up to 6-7 charges, but two, like you said, like the drug charges, the trafficking of fentanyl, all that? I'm like, I don't know anybody, especially like, inner city people.
Yeah, especially ones that are still living at home with dad.
Well,
right.
Yeah, but even still, I don't know anybody who hasn't got caught up with fentanyl that wasn't facing a large amount of time, and a huge their bails have always been over 15 grand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like I explained this. I was shitting bricks going to the courthouse just for them to say, yeah, no bond. That was like my first red flag. I was like, I might as well have been a goalie or not goalie. You know what I'm talking about.
So hey, I'm telling you, you need to get a copy. You got to make copies of that decision, and you have to mail them.
I think
to Canton Police Department. I'll do it for you. You get me copies of those, and I'll do it for you. I'll actually hand deliver them.
Yeah, you will. That's why
we have a lawyer in the chat, Nan, and I know she can't be on at the moment, but she's in the chat. I want to get her. Hopefully, she can give me a short answer of am I right or wrong. If from what we're hearing of all what went on in your case, would any of the stuff from your case had the defense known it last year, could they have used any of that to go after his credibility?
Someone should hit up her lawyer.
you know, I'm just wondering if Nan, so Nan's in there, if she thinks that his actions in this case, which happened 2 months after John's death, and your case finished in 23, a year before her case. Do you think any of his actions from this one could have shown a pattern, maybe per se? And maybe that's why. And how about this? The fact that the audit never even saw any of this. The audit didn't see this.
Someone should hit up Karen Reed.
Yeah.
Someone should
Someone should tell the auditors that maybe they should have looked at other case files that were at the station.
Yeah.
So
I can't see. I don't know if anybody's saying anything in chat, but I can't.
there's a guy, Runkle. Everybody keeps talking about Runkle. Oh, here, answer from Nan. Yes, 100% this would be relevant to the other case because it would show, probably it would show a pattern. It would show his interactions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Manipulation, most definitely.
I'm wondering if Nan, I got another question, and everyone's going to be like, you don't even know what a Brady Giglio is. Right? Yeah, lack of following policy. Well, his lawyer flat out accused him of lying. Yeah.
I'm going to eat my chicken, guys.
And it is. And it's newly discovered evidence. Absolutely, it's newly discovered evidence that that's right there in black and white, if you can find it. I mean, depending if you go to the right building. Yeah. I'm telling you, I'm wondering if it's, and then I'm also wondering if it could be used to impeach him. You know? Hey, I can see it now. Sergeant Lank, isn't it true that a judge ruled that you mishandled evidence, submitted false information, and violated a man's rights? Isn't it true?
Prior to this,
Yeah.
just 3 months before this incident happened.
Oh, here you go. Here's another one. Runkle on the Bailey is an attorney that specialized in gun rights in Canada. He's a Canadian lawyer. If that's who you're talking about, Scotty McGinnis. Yeah, Runkle. He's got a YouTube show that he's big into the Karen Reed stuff too. He's the Canadian one with the white hair, right? He looks like he's out of some like Lord of the Rings kind of. I don't know. I think I've seen him once a couple times. Nan said this is impeachment evidence that should be exchanged immediately with the Commonwealth. Let Brennan try to exclude it. Yeah. Well, hi Kelly. Kelly Reed was in the chat. Hey Kelly. I don't know. It was just something. We had one more. Let's see. We played we didn't play this one. Am I free to go?
It's supposed to be what?
A lead. So I'm free to go?
Yep.
Is there anything else?
No, sir. These guys, you have the information, right? Telephone number and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Just gonna use that call real quick. Yep. You guys want to hang there or give it that?
Did they take pictures of it going on the ramp truck? just a question. I don't know.
I don't know. You know, it's funny. I was asking that pretty much the entire time. I'm like, am I free to go? No, you're detained. How for an hour and a half? That makes no sense.
So they kept you for an hour and a half. Well,
An hour and a half. I kid you not. That was ridiculous. And I'm pretty sure, like, there's a certain amount of time you can detain a person, and until you find reasonable, probable cause or beyond a reasonable doubt. I forget. But I know it's like
that whole articulate.
yeah, exactly. But I know it's like you have 15
reasonable.
minutes.
I don't know, Nan. Do you know that? Nan,
It's
do you know how
over.
long somebody can keep him? Hey, at least they didn't make you sit on the curb.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, honestly, given everything, you might as well just maybe sit on the fucking curb. Like, at least it would have looked better for him. I'm over here walking around, and there's these guys are saying I'm committing a felony, but I'm walking around and I'm not in cuffs. That makes sense.
Just double checking my. Sorry, I get sidetracked myself too. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm like, oh, who doesn't want to put anything in the comments? But no, it wasn't. It was just stupid stuff. This time it wasn't even anybody. So, so where do we go from here then? What do you think?
So I think for me,
15 minutes at mass, by the way, Alec. 15
minutes, right? Yeah. So
Yep.
15 minutes, and then pretty much your clock is ticking after that, and anything else beyond that is like false imprisonment. Yeah, exactly. False imprisonment or false detaining or whatever the case may be. But anyways, beside the point, I want Steve to represent me. I know he got a lot going on with whatever he's doing. He's a very busy man, and I respect that.
How'd you find him? From soccer?
No, well, yes, but he's been very close friends with my father for many years. My father's used him many times.
Wait
my
a minute.
father's-
Wait a minute. Sorry, we got to do this. It comes through, and they're calling for it.
Oh,
They
yeah.
actually requested it. By the way, Alec, that is Boozy, who's right here with us. That she's normally well, I shouldn't say that. It's a 50-50 with Boozy. Sometimes she's on camera, sometimes she's not. She's probably running all over her. She's probably got the volume up, and she's like running around playing with her dogs and eating and doing everything she's not supposed to be doing on camera. Right,
Sorry,
Boozy?
Listen.
I'm over here eating on camera.
Listen, you know me oh too well, don't you?
I do. Although Boozy just got her nails done.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
And Mullins is very jealous.
Listen,
So,
I can't
no,
type
this
for
is-
shit right now. I'm not used to these damn things.
you got those long nails that the girls at the phone call centers have.
They're
Oh,
not even that long. That's the
oh.
sad thing.
yeah.
But
Oh, here's another good one. Did you check the mileage when you get your car back? Because Ferris Bueller might have had it. I heard that one in there.
you know what? I should have. I didn't even think about doing that. That should have been something on my.
What do you think of Ferris Bueller?
Honestly, yeah, no bullshit. With everything, he probably had a nice little joyride before he actually or after. Who knows? I mean, honestly, if I was a cop and I got a Lamborghini, I mean, shit, I might just take it for a little drive.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
But
So I got another question for Nan, who's in the chat. Do you think if Reed's attorneys knew this, they could have filed motions to exclude anything Lank touched, which would have been the Stop and Shop bag, his interviews of the people sitting at the table, basically everything that he had of involvement with the other case, with the Karen Reed case. You know, I'm just thinking, you know, between the Lopalato case and now your case, and the Karen Reed case. I mean,
That's quite an amount of evidence.
That's 3 right there. And I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I'm sure somebody else is going to come forward. You know.
Yeah, that's quite an amount of evidence to say, hey, I don't think he's credible. I think
It wouldn't. Oh, right here. Look. So good thing I asked these questions. So, will you stop,
Sorry,
Eric?
John. All
Stop,
right.
Eric.
I'm trying to help.
This would not provide a basis to exclude the other evidence, but it is impeachment evidence. So, not the fruit of the poisonous tree. Okay. So it impeaches his testimony. Yeah.
yeah. I
Plus,
mean,
now now the big thing is the meeting the next day at his house, right? That's the next thing that's going. Did you so you're from Milton, Dorchester area? Did you watch any of this stuff that's happening over here?
like the Karen Reed
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was legit at work the other day watching the first couple of days that went on, and it's funny to me that you see everybody like their testimonies is now like all switching up. And I was like, yo,
So did you watch any of the first case?
the first case, I didn't watch it completely.
Okay,
Not
that's
enough,
fine.
Not enough to recite it.
No, that's good. So you're like just that casual, you see something, which is, you know what? Good. You're the type of person we want to talk to. Someone that's not invested one way or the other on either side, but you watched it and you're just like,
Yeah, exactly.
right. And you have common sense.
Right.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts so far? You don't have to say, I don't want you to say guilty, not guilty. Like, what are your thoughts so far on this whole thing?
I think just from my own personal experience with dealing with women, right?
Mhm.
We get into arguments, stuff happens, like even to the point of like, she might shove you or whatever. You're just like, get off me. I don't think she hit him with the car. It just doesn't make any sense. And to me, like, first of all, if she did hit him with the car, she reversed and hit him with the car, right? Your car in reverse is not applying the same amount of force it is when you're in drive. Not really. Like, you know what I mean? In reverse, it's gonna take a little bit more momentum and then where the light that's cracked hit him, you know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense. I don't think that there was enough.
Alec,
She wasn't
without
going-
saying exactly what you do, what kind of field of work are you in?
I'm a tech
With vehicles, huh?
with vehicles, yeah.
Okay, good. Just
Vehicle work. It
Oh.
just doesn't. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense because it's like, all right, I'll give you an example. Like, I got into an accident. What year did I get into the accident, Pop? The snow one.
2020, 2018.
Well, maybe
Okay.
you should have had a 4-wheel drive instead of the Challenger.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
exactly. That's exactly why I got rid of it. But I got into an accident with that. But I was driving. I had to be going at least coming down from the speed limit of 30. You know what I mean? And I hit the brakes. It's it's snowy out. I can't really stop. You know what I mean? And I hit another car. And even that, the damage to my vehicle, there was no damage to that person's vehicle, but my damage to my vehicle, there was pretty much nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's coming down from like
Before we get to Richie Chainlink Schiffer. So this guy here, Richie Schiffer, he was they investigated him for 6 months for leaving some rubber ducks around town. He owns a fence company. Yeah.
No, legit. No,
but
not even like.
I just want to go back to this other one.
Listen,
Hold
I
on.
know John.
Listen. I
you
want to go to this
listen, Linda.
first.
Listen,
Somebody says they love you and your dad's relationship, and I you know what? I absolutely 100% love that. I was so close to my dad, so
Yeah, my dad's my guy, man.
Yeah.
That's my guy right there.
There you go. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Now go ahead, Boozy. Back to you.
I'm just
Forgot what I was
saying,
gonna say.
first of all, my heater's going to go on, so it's going to sound like I'm in a fucking vacuum cleaner. Second of all, that's why I wanted to get this out before the heat went on. Second of all, I know John tends to exaggerate a little bit, Alec, but here's the deal. We are not kidding when we say Richie literally was investigated for rubber ducks.
For 6
Literally.
months. 6 months.
Literally.
Yeah.
He's not
For
lying.
leaving for the little ones, the little tiny ones.
Like the bath ones? That
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I have one. Oh, I have one. I'll show you. Hold on.
Oh my god.
Got it on the counter over here.
That's like
Right here.
Here we go.
Like-
36-page report.
Here you go. This big. That big.
Fits in the palm of your hand.
Oh,
you know this I'm sorry, but like this is why I like appreciate, and I'm sorry I'm kind of ranting here, but like this is why I appreciate Dodge and what Dodge does now, because it's like why is resources going to that? You know what I mean? Like why is like taxpayer dollars going to paying people to do that, to investigate rubber ducks?
wait a minute. You like Dodge?
It's Doge. It's Doge.
Doge. Because I was gonna say I have a Dodge.
No, the Elon Musk version of Doge.
The Elon Musk.
You're gonna lose half my audience. I'm just telling you.
No, look. I'm just saying.
You don't know that this is about Canton, right?
The
There's a lot of
comments
liberals in this
I know.
There's
I'm just
people
saying.
typing away.
I'm just saying, just for the fact that it's like, why does resources go to stuff like that? I just don't understand. How could
Because
somebody-
people like to pay family members for things.
Ugh.
It's the same reason.
Well-
It's the same reason there's someone that's on the force that got on the force by being placed into the dog officer position, assistant dog officer position, so he could leapfrog over other people.
But also, too, we need to remember the officer that investigated the Ducky Gate probably needed to
Oh.
put in a couple of favors. He owed
Yeah.
people things. So
He
that's
killed his dog.
yeah. Well, there you go.
That's what y'all call it, Ducky Gate.
That's what I call it. And then no, Alec, you're gonna love this. Oh God, yeah. We're really going down the fucking deep hole right now. Okay, Massachusetts State Police has an officer. His name is Yuri Buchanek. I call him Buquack Quack because he was part of the investigation.
Quack quack.
Buquack Quack.
Hey, Richie, this one's for you, buddy.
Give us fucking McDonough, and we'll go easy on you.
Alec, so the guy there, his name's Sean McDonough. He's I gotta call him. I haven't talked to him in a couple of days, but he's a retired DEA agent living down in Florida. And he also had a show, so I stole that little snippet from him.
Oh yeah.
So, oh geez, now you're gonna get all. There goes all my women that were liking me. What the hell? Who? Wait a minute.
John, leave your shirt on.
Eric,
Leave your
Eric,
shirt
who gave that kid permission to do that? Who gave that kid permission to do that?
Haha.
There goes half my fucking audience.
Yeah. Okay.
John, you take your shirt off. We're gonna
Oh my
stop.
God, she
We're gonna
shaved my
stop
back
the
yesterday.
camera.
She shaved my back yesterday. I can feel my
Excuse
t-shirt.
me?
Mullen shaved my back.
Christ. Here we
And the
go.
great thing is, I just got back from Florida like a week ago, so you know I got the tan on.
Calm down there, Manny Ramirez.
Oh.
John, there was comments in the chat that you were looking a little pale tonight.
I know. I had to put the ring light on. I had to change the ring light.
Oh,
my god.
it was also there was,
Diane. Put up Diane's comment.
Which one? Oh, this one. Here you go.
No,
Alec.
no, no.
Oh,
Diane,
it was-
no.
yeah, but
Come
I
on.
went to, but it moved.
Come on, because I
This
want to
one.
say it the way she wants me to say it. Wendy Williams, how you doing?
Oh.
I'm all right. I'm all right.
Alec, I just want to let you know the target audience on our channel is 45 to 65. I'm just so you're gonna
Hey,
get a
age-
lot of
age is only a number.
you're gonna get a lot of Mrs. Robinsons in your
Oh.
DM soon.
Hey, Mrs. Robinson.
Oh.
Oh, that's priceless.
So now what we got to do is we got to get Alec to drive through Canton, right? And nothing happened to him, and then and then he's got to come on and describe his getting through town.
I might as well vlog it.
He's got to go live. All right, folks. I'm hitting the town line.
See, but the sad part is I don't have my Dodge Charger anymore. So if I did have the Charger, they'd be like, "Yeah, that's him. Get him."
I'm not gonna lie.
Maybe I should take your Challenger and you know what I mean?
Yes.
You wouldn't be the first one. You wouldn't be the first one.
listen,
Someone took my Challenger on election night a couple weeks ago.
It was supposed to come right back too.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
wasn't she?
Yeah, but you know what? You know what though? Nothing happened.
Nothing happened. None at all.
They were probably wicked confused because it was a chick driving it and not John.
I know they were all right. I come into town. I don't come in on the main drags that have the flock cameras. I come up other streets.
Oh yeah.
Until they get the cameras. But watch, in the next 2 months they're gonna put in all the cameras in every entrance and exit to town. Hey, Noodles Mama is asking a question.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh God.
Hey, Mullins, calm down. Even Mullins is asking.
I mean,
Yeah, look.
pretty much now.
So let me double check, make sure I got through all of my questions with you.
This is crazy.
Yeah, hey Alec, this is how it usually goes.
Yeah, I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. This is
Yeah, no, we did. I got through all of my little talking points. That was great. I'll tell you, your lawyer. I got to send him a thank you. The fact that he actually came to you, and I know. My rating spiked. Thanks, Nan. Freaking yeah,
Man, it's so true.
I know.
So true.
Yeah, whatever. It
Hey
is what
John,
it is.
there was one question in the chat that I know you don't really want to answer it, so I'm going to answer it.
Go ahead.
And the question is, how did this story come to the Canton Chronicle? And all I can tell the Cronks is nothing gets by John. Nothing gets by John.
I saw it too. I saw that question too. It came. You know what? It's not the only one it's not the only story that's fallen on my lap. You know,
It's a daily occurrence now.
He's like, hey, I got the connections. I make you happy.
well, I mean, you got people. You have people that just want to do the right thing, and
and I appreciate
this was that is. I'm sure people. There's a lot of people. Oh my God! I apologize to my ACDC friends. I'm sorry. I said I was going to say hi to you at the beginning of the show, and I forgot to put it down. It's been a long day. I have 3.5 hours of sleep. I'm sure you guys did too, because it was a nightmare getting out of that. Well, they were gone before we got back, but it took forever to get out of that freaking lot. So you know who you are. If you're still watching, hi. I wish they were in the chat. They could tell me if they ever sent that picture off. So,
Good night, Nan. Nan, good night.
Good night, Nan. Thank you for being on our chat, Nan. And we'll hope to see you soon. And prayers to your family.
Mm-hmm.
Nan's got
Blessings,
some,
blessings.
yeah, you know. So, so what's on the future? What's on the future for you, Alec?
I want my license back, man. But I definitely want. I need Link to get a little cut of his own pie. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'll tell you right now. After being on this show, there's no chance you're getting your license back. He's already made the call. He's on that phone number. He called like 5 minutes into the show.
But yeah, I mean, like, I would, like I said, my lawyer, he do have a lot of things going on in his own life right now, whether it's business or personal. So if I could get him to kind of draw something up, that would be great. If not,
or if not, I'm sure that, if there's anyone that knows any lawyers in the chat, I mean, Nan's a lawyer, but she's not in Mass yet. You guys send me a message. Most of the people have a message, and I will make sure we pass it on to Alec. Here's the bad news, people, at least for me. There's been talk that Alec might be starting some sort of YouTube channel or TikTok channel or something like that. So if it does, yes, I will plug him, and you guys can all go run over there. Boost his numbers.
Just don't do 7 o'clock on Sundays.
Yeah,
no.
Try to stay away from 7 o'clock. All right, don't take all of them with you.
Because we want to watch it too.
No, I'm
live.
I'm just gonna come to y'all show. Y'all, I'm gonna be
Perfect.
the host over here. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That'll be great, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You're welcome anytime.
Yeah, I appreciate it. No, you guys are great. The whole show's great. You're great for finding me. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
that was.
I'll tell you. So and folks, and I'll give this up too. So I had the file. I went through. Hey, we can pull it up real quick, right? Because so I had the file, right? So here's the file, right? And we're at. This is Lank's first page. I mean, look, I'll go back a couple files. So it starts with you have Benjamin Berkowitz's narrative. Then you have Kevin Albert's narrative. I think it might be the same Kevin Albert from, the Karen Reed trial. But Kevin Albert was there. We saw him. You have Darren Moriarty's narrative. And I think he was the officer involved in that little accident just a couple weeks ago. And then Lank. And Lank's is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages long. Mm-hmm. Right? And then you have the summons. You get the summons report, 3 pages, 4 pages. Then you have the criminal docket, right? And then all the dismissed. I should have. While Nan was on, I should have had her translate all this stuff. The DWO, what's that? Dismissed without. I don't know what MCE is for arraignment. So it's got all the dates of when they dropped all this stuff on you, right? So I have this. We find out that Stoughton Court didn't have the judge's decision. I FOIA Canton. They don't have the decision. And in this report is your phone number. And on a whim...
Redact that because, I don't know.
On a whim... How do you get that thing down?
No, I was just playing. I don't care.
No, I'm trying to get it down. I really am. It's on present. Wait a minute. It's on present.
Oh, my God. What a rookie.
I know. I was in media assets, and I was down here on the other thing. Like my cousin Vinny, on a whim, I decided to call the number, and he called me back. And I was just like, hi, Alex Stella. Yeah. My name is John Camo, and you don't know me, but and that's where it pretty much went from there, right?
Pretty much,
I
kid you not, that made I jumped out of my bed because it's funny. I got like you said that number, the 661 is California, so whenever I get calls, especially random calls of people that I don't already know, it's usually like from California, random calls from California, just, hi, we're looking for this person, blah, blah. So I don't get calls from people from Massachusetts like that. So when I see the Massachusetts number, I'm like, nah, all right, let me call it back. And then, you just popped up. And when you told me that, I jumped out of my freaking bed because I was laying down. And I was like, no fucking way. No, I kid you not.
That was the exact words.
That shit was crazy. Cause
Hey, you ever watch? You might not. You ever see Curb Your Enthusiasm?
oh hell yeah, that's my
Oh,
shit. That's my father's shit too, right? Dad?
after getting off the phone with you, I swear to God, you know the one where he goes, "You don't sound black" to the mechanic.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like,
You don't
I'm
sound
like,
black.
right, and I'm like, huh, Alec, Stella, I don't know, Milton, Dorchester, I don't know. I mean, I was just like, it doesn't matter. I don't care. We're just
You ever seen White Chicks?
Oh yeah. Oh, the weigh-ins. I love the
You
weigh-ins.
remember when he was like, once you go black, you don't go back.
Yeah.
Right, Dad?
Oh my god!
Boozy, close your ears for a minute.
Oh my god! This is boy chat now.
Oh.
Hey, you said, "Yep, once you go black, don't go back." Nah.
Yeah. No, I was just like, oh, you know what? I go because I was trying to picture in my head. All right, Amazon warehouse in Canton. He's in my head. I'm like, I don't know. It's probably like a 23, 24-year-old kid that just, like somewhere in that age. Like I'd say 23 to 27. Some like that was my age bracket of like kid working over at the warehouse. They get in a fight, but it said in the thing that you guys were friends. In the report, it's like you guys were friends arguing over what else? Hey, Boozy, what do you think they were arguing over?
Who?
What do you? Yeah, oh yeah, who? Yeah, yeah. Exactly.
No,
Fighting
really,
over a girl.
I was
Fighting over a girl.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I was putting white flags in the chat. It took me a second to type them out with my nail.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh my God, is that what those things are?
I can't see
What?
chat. So
Oh, I'll show you what Boozy put up. I have no clue what it was. What the heck
White
is those?
flags.
It's like
White
R
flags
R
to
R R
surrender.
R.
all right.
Oh, John's got a stupid computer. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a dumb computer.
Oh,
A dumb
it's
smartphone.
flags. It's white flag.
Oh, yeah. So I'm like, oh, they argued over a girl. Something stupid. I mean, like literally, it was the stupidest thing. Call the cops. I mean,
I don't even.
I got in a fight. I got in a fight with a coworker. I used to work for a moving company, and this kid was a wrestler on a scholarship at BU. I didn't know that. And I was getting tired of running up and down the friggin' stairs all day. We were on Beacon Hill, and he just was hanging out in the truck the whole time, packing the truck. And I would just keep coming down and going, dude, you got to start, we'd go back and forth. And then finally he says, dude, say another word and I got to fucking whatever. And I'm like, okay. And we just tussled in the truck. Meanwhile, the third guy had made 2 trips up and down with boxes while we're rolling around in the truck. That kid tied me up like a pretzel. I had a black eye, right? And I still finished. We made up.
Wait, you got tied up like a pretzel by a man?
Yeah, that
Wow.
kid wrapped me up. I mean, once he got his hands on me, I didn't fight. I didn't fight fast enough. It's hard to fight a wrestler when you're just a boxer. Yeah, it was one of the fights I lost.
Okay.
And I had, we finished. The other kid finally came down. And he's like, all right, guys, enough. Which we stopped, right? And got our composure. I grabbed the box, I'm going up the stairs, and the customer didn't realize right away, but they're like, how'd you get the black eye? They had no clue. We got in a fight 20 minutes before down in the truck.
Yeah, you can't just have a fight nowadays, man.
You can't do it anymore.
Did you hug it out after?
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah,
We'd go to the Red Sox games and get hammered. Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
Yeah, stupid things boys fight over. This is what it is.
Yeah, it was women. They're the problem. They're always the problem.
They're always the problem.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey now. I went from cackling at my comment to a what'd you just say?
So, all right. Well, I guess. Because I was prepping for this show, I'm going to lean on Boozy and Eric for a couple minutes before we got to go. Do you guys want to update me on everything that went down today? I saw some of it. I saw some of it. I didn't get to see all of it. I'll tell you what I saw. I know that Katie McLaughlin missed her call. So I think she was puking in the bathroom or something, and they brought her back in a little bit. And I know that Ryan Nagel totally forgot that he went to the hillside. That's the extent of my day.
I was literally freaking the fuck out. I was actually like, holy shit. Holy shit. So, Eric, we started the day off with the rest of the Massachusetts State Crime Lab. And that poor woman looked like she was ready to cry.
She had a tough time. She did much better Friday than she did today. Yeah.
She literally looked like she was going to bawl her eyes out. John, we can hear your video.
Yeah, it's from Karen Reed today.
Hey, Pops.
Hey,
Uh,
how you guys
What,
doing?
what do you think? Did you watch it? Hey,
No.
how's it going? You don't watch it?
Good. No, I
No.
gave up.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to give it up.
Well,
Nobody likes a quitter, you know.
yeah. Sometimes you just have to quit though to keep your sanity.
It
Well, there you
happens.
go.
Yeah. I took a month off here or there. Yeah.
I think you're for Karen, right?
Well,
For the
no,
most
part.
I don't think she. The most she should have been charged with, in my viewpoint, was manslaughter, involuntary.
Yeah.
Involuntary.
Yeah, it just
Well,
it was crazy how it ballooned. And talking about Lank's habit, perhaps, of manufacturing a small case into a bigger case. I don't know.
Pattern.
well, my thing that recently I keep saying is if she did it, why is it that there's not one piece of taillight in the impact zone? It's all where he landed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And none on his clothing or
And none, remember, they left at 9 o'clock, right? They didn't go back till 6. That road had been plowed several times. So why is it none of it was upfield of the plow? The plow had to have gotten some and pushed it up.
Especially how much glass is broken too.
They found it all
Good point.
where he landed.
Well,
yeah.
also you got a leaf blower that in today's testimony did a fantastic job, but didn't find any of the 47 pieces of taillight.
right.
And they said they got down to grass.
And that's the snowfall that we had that time.
That was
I
thick.
don't-
That was thick snow.
Yeah, I don't.
How about this? They asked him today, why didn't you use a shovel? He says, well, I didn't want to break anything. Well, what did the CERT team use? Shovels. They all use shovels.
Did you guys talking about this? Did you guys see the? And I might be behind here, but I had seen something from another YouTube channel, like it's YouTube Court or something like that.
Uh-huh.
But they brought on the jury from the last from the mistrial, and they were saying that the jury decided that she wasn't guilty on certain.
Second degree.
Yeah, yeah,
The two was it? There was only one.
Charge
That,
1 and charge 3.
yeah.
yeah, exactly. But it wasn't all tied. Like there's something that I'm paraphrasing here, I guess, but they were like it was saying that they decided on some, and then but they thought they had to decide as a whole.
5 or 6 jurors have come out and said that all 12 were unanimous on counts 1 and 2 of not guilty, but it never translated to the judge.
Right, something like that, right?
And the judge never asked the question either. You're hung on all counts. There was no question to it. It was just a quick see you later. We're not gonna have you come back again.
Yeah, and that was my thing. Was like, why aren't you having them come back again? That just doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like what?
You have a fan, Alec. Okay. You got a fan.
We're all reading it. Oh,
yeah, but when I do it, it's all put it back on. You know.
Well, we didn't know before we were saying that you just
Yeah.
had
This
you
is
just
what I
had your
get for-
back shaved.
This is what I get for not vetting the guest ahead of time.
I'm
You
sorry.
know?
It doesn't help that my Instagram has no pictures either.
I didn't even. Yeah, you know what? I didn't even go through it either to see. And I'm like,
I don't got no
well,
pictures on my Instagram.
I want it to be a surprise. And now all the
John
ladies in
takes
the chat
offense
like
to
it.
anybody one up on him.
You know.
I'm not trying to, but I have been in the gym for like the last 2 months. So
Yeah, we notice. Trust us. Yeah, we see it. Oh, what? Do you have a tat on your arm? What's the tat on your arm?
I got all Greek mythology.
Oh, you got Greek mythology?
Yeah.
Well, I have Charles Schultz.
Charles Schultz.
Yeah. I got Snoopy.
Medusa.
John, you know what else you also have?
I got a lighthouse.
No.
Ooh, lighthouse.
The clap? What? No. It's
Oh my god. Okay, that beats my answer. I was going to say a farmer's tan, but go on. Go off.
Secret. My dad said.
No, we were making a joke about that last night. We were talking about League of Our Own. They're like, don't, when Jimmy Duggan did the signature, don't get the clap, Jimmy Duggan. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought her case. When I seen that with the whole juror stuff, I was like, bro, there's something to this. They don't want the jurors to come back for a reason.
No, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And the other reason I missed most of today too is like today must have been the day that every time I go back to it, the fan was on, a sidebar, they broke for. I'm like, I'd love to know how much actual time is being taken in that 8-hour day.
Yeah, they must be beating around.
Well, you want to hear something funny that Sarah Levinson added on to her story?
Yes.
You remember how it was just supposed to be she was joking with Jen McCabe in the car when they were leaving 34 Fairview when they didn't see the body and they should have seen the body and they were talking about the fucking bread and the peanut butter? She randomly said a PB&J and my initial reaction, she added jelly and I was like, where the fuck did the jelly come from?
Peanut butter jelly time.
I was like, where did the jelly come from? What? That doesn't make sense. Was she high? Probably, but it still doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, everybody is coming up with something else that they said now, so it's. I don't know. It's interesting to see these first couple of days play out, anyways.
Oh, none of their reports match. None of their stories match. They've all been slightly different, exaggerated, or completely changed.
It's an odd order too. They keep putting everybody in an odd order.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Like that today, Gallagher was the first law enforcement officer.
Right. And why wouldn't they put I always pronounce his name wrong, Sarif.
No, that's right. Sarif. Yeah.
I almost said
he was the
Saraf.
first one there. Why wouldn't you put the first one that shows up on the scene?
Right.
Yeah, they're all over the place, and it's not flowing. At least I'll tell you, as much as we hated Lally in the first round, at least he did it in the order. It was too much, but he
also Lally was dragging on and on
apron,
and on.
shoveling the apron.
At least Brennan, he gets them in and out.
I know. Yeah, but they miss everything.
Yeah.
One guy forgot he even went to a bar.
No, seriously, I was like, "What do you mean you don't remember going to the Hilly?" I was like, "Excuse me, that was the really?"
Does he have more than one sister? Because he was meeting his sister at CF McCarthy's, but she's at 34 Fairview.
Well, and that's the other thing. I was like, "How is Julie Nagel with you at the bar?" But at the same time, the next witness, Sarah Levinson, said she's at the house with Julie. That makes no sense.
It's been 3 years.
No, come on.
That's a long time.
We're doing this without looking at
No, hold on. Listen, mister, I had Lanka up my fucking ass. You remember every little piece of that night or that day, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
You can relive that over and over and over.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
They remember it all. They're just lying.
Especially for a tragic incident. I mean, like, you don't forget shit like that.
Right.
I didn't see this myself today, but I had heard that Gallagher said they don't take pictures of crime scenes or bodies because that would be disrespectful.
Bullshit.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't hear it myself.
They
but
don't do it because they didn't have cameras yet. They're getting cameras because of the audit.
Yeah, I was about to say now they finally got cameras.
They're getting
He
cameras.
did say that, and then the follow-up question from Alan Jackson was, "You don't do the bodies, you don't do the crime scene." He goes, "No, it'd be disrespectful."
Unbelievable.
I just don't. I just feel the other thing I feel is if she did it, then why are they lying about so much?
Yeah.
Why? Why lie? Okay, you know what? It's no secret. We know what you were doing. Okay, it's out there. Stop lying.
Yeah, I agree.
We know it was a drop off, not a pickup.
The truth will set you free.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's the other thing that gets me. It's everything. The fact that she's got to fight to get ring camera footage, and they want to hold that off. And I've said it before. Yes, if I was innocent, but they came to me and like, we want your phone, I'm like, absolutely not. And for obvious reasons, okay? There's stuff in my phone I don't want to be seen. That's why I change my password to an 8-digit number every other week. I mean, it's what it is.
Jeff, did the ME come to 34 Fairview? That's what I want to know.
No.
Do they usually? Does the medical examiner do they do like Quincy?
So-
You
so
remember
the-
Quincy? He'd go out to the
Quincy, yeah.
scene. Yeah.
So
Jack Klugman.
no pictures until the medical examiner shows up.
Jeff says no.
Yeah. Okay.
So they don't. Wait. I missed it. So no, I'm not hiding anything. I just don't want to show all my friggin' stuff. Does the medical examiner go? They don't anymore, right? Or is that just in movies?
That's if there's a body.
I mean, I would imagine if there's a body, they would.
The coroner.
Yeah. So the other thing, Alec, is this program. We don't have a lot of trolls. That's number one, and number two, we do have people like Jeff Williams that's in our chat here. He, I think he's more. She did it, but we don't have a problem because his comments aren't hateful and he's not like.
Well, I always say it's good to talk to people who you disagree with because they have information that you don't. And at the end of the day, facts are facts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If a fact is a fact, a fact is a fact. You can't argue that. So, I mean, it's great having people that disagree with,
Well, that, and if you have everybody agreeing, it's really boring.
Yeah, that too.
If everybody agrees on it, it's like,
That's how we know you like toxic relationships.
Shush you. Mullins, don't listen to him. Oh, she's going to be all, well, no, I was going to say she's going to be all over you. No, she's not. She's going to be all over that comment. Yeah, no, there's just too much. There's too much lying. And I don't know if it's nervous lying or like, yeah.
Isn't it more like a fucked up lying?
Yeah, maybe I fucked up lying. I could say that. But, I mean, I understand the pressure of being on stand, too. I can understand that. But it's still, like, how can you not, like, given everything, the circumstances, how can you not, like, have everything lined out to be all...
Sorry, I'm telling you, that's your newest fan right there. You start your YouTube, I bet you I know who's the first one to sign up. All right?
Noodles. Can she make noodles?
Yeah, Jeff, people forget things as time goes on, but here's the thing. This is the biggest case that's ever happened in this town. All right? I don't have any notes in front of me, and I'll tell you right now, you start asking me questions, and I know what they said. I know what they testified to. I know what they told the... Moreover, the fact that almost every statement to the police doesn't match everything after the fact. So all of the first statements that were given to any law enforcement doesn't match everything afterwards. Trial 1, trial 2.
Except John, some of the witnesses, their memory improved.
Yeah. Of course
I
I can.
cannot with that.
If it was traumatic, if I had I'll tell you what, I had an accident. I had an accident 3 years ago. I can tell you exactly from beginning to end, all the way right through it. When I totaled the car.
Any situation that has that takes a toll on you mentally, physically, on top of taking your time up, I'm pretty sure you're gonna get your shit right. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way you can't. Like, that would just be, I don't know, idiotic, completely idiotic. You know what I mean? And then people. My thing was, now you got all these testimonies coming up different. I'm like, you guys are lying under oath now? I'm pretty sure that's a charge.
Yeah, but not in mass, because they're the Commonwealth's witnesses. That's the other thing that pisses me off. It's like, once again, from the very beginning, you had Sarah Levinson placing, and Julie said she drove her, putting Caitlin in the house, right? And then next thing you know, Caitlin saying, "Oh no, I came from Easton on my own." Well, one person says you were in the house and she drove you to the bar. How does she not remember that? She showed up the house. There was 3 of you in the car. It's those things. Stop lying about those things. The more you guys lie about those things, the more we lean to something happened, something went wrong, and you guys are just scrambling to manufacture stuff.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
it's sticky, man. It's sticky.
Yeah. All right.
John,
Well,
Gary Titus just got here. He wants to know if we missed anything. So
no,
maybe
we're
we
not
should
giving
start
him a
over.
link. No, we're not giving him a link. We're gonna
From
Boozy,
the top, everybody.
we're gonna Alec, you want to have any do you have any last statements you want to give, and maybe give a little arm action for the ladies?
I mean, man, I'm just glad I found you, or you found me.
And let's hope that somebody, any lawyer that is familiar with LTCs.
Yeah, or just wants to take up the case of someone can. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like justice needs to be served, and served cold. But, that's a hope.
And everything's going good with you right now.
Yeah, everything's decent,
Okay.
Everything could be better, but at the end of the day, I'm just biding my time and grinding through it. That's pretty much it. And
Well, we'll continue to talk no matter what. Because we've already exchanged all that stuff. So
Yeah.
If something comes up and you want to come back on, and
anytime
Yeah.
you want me on, I'll be on. Let's put it like that.
let's not go that far, because I'm sure Noodle's mom is going to be like, yeah.
You found my replacement.
I know.
No, never. I mean, if I get your views up, I mean,
they're up. Trust me.
yeah.
And we definitely
is
do
it-
appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. It's it's
No, it was great
it's
being.
important.
Yeah. Mullins, I'll see you in an hour. Mullins has to go. She's got to go clock
Thank
out.
you, Noodles Mama.
Yeah. So, well, thank you. Sit tight. Don't go anywhere. All right. You're going to be off screen, but don't go anywhere.
I'm not.
All
You're in the green room. Enjoy the shrimp cocktail.
Yeah.
All right. Cool,
We have
cool.
good Chinese food back there. It's
Oh my God.
what?
Since
right.
when?
Oh, we haven't been sharing with Boozy. That's right.
Dude,
Yeah,
that was didn't see that coming, did you? Huh? Didn't see the story coming, didn't see the friggin' guns coming. I
didn't
probably
see the
should have.
shrimp cocktail coming either.
Yeah, I should have vetted that one.
Didn't
Friggin'
didn't
halfway
see the
through
lawyer
show, that
coming
kid-
either.
I know, and the lawyer,
Oh.
and the lawyer. Friggin', I mean, that was like, and that was back and forth with the lawyer too. No, maybe, I don't know. Yeah,
And if you didn't cut him off and say and timed out the hour, he probably would have stayed for 2 hours.
no, I knew, it was an
No,
hour.
you did.
Yeah.
You played by the rules. I like
Yeah.
that.
Boozy, want to say goodnight to the people and yeah, anything happened? Oh, you were live today. Boozy was freaking live today with like 1,200 people in her TikTok.
No, my max was 2,100. Thank you very much.
Holy crap!
Mwah.
Look at you, 2,100. Hey, so Boozy's been live. Well, it's not really live streaming. She live streams herself.
It's actually live streaming just because
And the
it's
audio.
not what
I
you're
know
doing.
she's got herself and the audio, and people put little things on her head, and yeah. So.
It's just because
I saw
TikTok
I
has
saw-
stupid rules where you can't play videos that aren't your own on live.
Yeah.
That's all.
I saw she got a cowboy hat. She got an octopus. She got some ice cream cones, some donuts. Yeah, she got a lot of little things on TikTok today.
Rolling in the deep.
John, I know I mentioned this when we first got on, but
Yep.
we're about to approve 14 new members into the Canton Chronicle
'em
Facebook
in.
page.
Let 'em in.
They're all coming.
Let them in.
Come join us if you're not already a member. Come join us.
Yep. So, folks, thank you for watching. Also, I forgot that one too. All the maritime, the Canadian maritime people who are an hour ahead. Hello, comment ça va? Ça va bien? Tais-toi. That means shut up. And yeah, thank you to the guests. Thank you, Boozy, for being in here. Thank you, Mullins and Boston Brandy, for being mods. And hopefully we will see you guys. Oh, Tuesday night. Do you know what's happening Tuesday night?
Isn't that
Ooh,
tomorrow night?
there's a select board meeting on Tuesday.
Yeah.
night.
And do you know what's on the agenda?
What's on the agenda?
Your $500 is finally going through.
They cashed the check.
I know they haven't cashed it yet, but they're considering on cashing it. Who knew it takes a month for them to
Is it up for a vote?
It's up for a vote to see if they want to accept the $500 from the Kronks. But it's in my name because they went by the check. So on the thing,
So you
it
get
says
the
from
tax
John Kronk.
deduction.
I get the tax deduction, and I get and I get all the
gonna
glory
need it
because
with
it
your-
says John Camo because I don't have a Canton Chronicle checking account. So
Hey, now that you have a home office, you need those deductions.
I'm going to need some. I'm going to need some deductions.
That mic wasn't cheap.
Yeah, it was $40. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Sorry, I don't have 2,100 friggin' viewers like you do. Okay,
Right?
Count my pennies.
We're lucky to
No,
have
they'll
12 to watch.
they'll accept it, Gail. It just takes them friggin' forever. Like I gave them the check a month ago. You'd think they would just say, "Okay, thank you," put it in the bank and do their little.
Have they cashed the $786 check?
That I got to call tomorrow. So once again, here I am, right when we're ready to leave, too. Alec, don't go anywhere. On Friday, I called Town Hall because, well, first off, I got an email from Town Hall, and the email was everything. So let me back that up. I had called the treasurer's office a week ago, or maybe 2 weeks ago, on a Tuesday. It was the day after Marathon Monday, right? And I said, listen, I got the FOIA request back of this check and a deposit slip. I just want to make sure it went into an account and it got, it cleared. So can you tell me if this check number, blah, 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 cleared? And they put me on hold, and then they came back and they said, nope, sorry, that's something that you have to go through Tracy Kenny, town clerk. I'm like, oh. And she actually sent me an email right away saying, Tracy Kenny, town clerk, it all goes through me. I'm like, okay. And is this what you want? Yep. I got everything that we already had back again. So on Friday, I called and I said, listen, I got the exact same answer on an email. and the person that answered the phone says, the deposit slip's not good enough for you? Hold on. And I'm like, no. Anyone can write up a deposit slip. I want to see the cleared. I want to see that it cleared. And they got back on the phone and was like, yeah, because it was 1 o'clock. It's almost 1 o'clock, and they're like, you're gonna have to call back on Monday. Everybody's gone home. And I'm like, okay. I forgot to call today, so I'll call tomorrow. I'm gonna call town hall tomorrow and talk to the treasurer's office again, which I called the first time, to say, listen, I just want proof that this check cleared. So, yeah, we're still waiting on that check.
Kind of a simple request.
It's a simple request. Show us the proof that it went into an account. That's it. That's all I want. And hurry up and cash my check before my bank account doesn't allow it to cash my check.
You start sucking that
It's like
money
friggin'
out
first of the
yourself.
month again. I know. I'm like, I have to keep looking at my account, making sure I have over $500 in there at all times. For you never know when they're gonna cash that check. I'm like, geez, I'm gonna bounce the check now. How embarrassing that's gonna be. Oh, I remember when John Camo gave us a bad check. Now he owes us $30 more. So, geez. But all right. So yeah. So that's it. That's where we're at, people. Thank you, and we'll see. Oh, yeah. Our other guest emailed me. So us two, we got to come up with when we're gonna go. It's going to be on location. We have a guest, and it's going to be on location. We're not going to be Zooming and everything. We're going to be live somewhere in Canton.
What the hell does that mean?
I'll tell you off air.
It's a fun one.
Oh, it's a fun one. It's a fun one, people. There's nothing. It's a fun one.
There's no tea to spill in this one.
Oh, look at this. An hour ahead of us, Bob McKenna. That's another guest we're going to get. Bob McKenna found Yarmir Yaga.
Well done, Bob. Well done.
He was the first one to try to get him over here to America. Bob McKenna was also he played at Boston University, and that's that helmet that I wear, that little friggin' bottle cap that I put on, that Jofa helmet, the Gretzky Jofa helmet. Yeah, he was one of the first persons ever on the ice over at BU at the Walter Brown Arena.
Is that because that's the only helmet that'll fit that head of yours?
Oh, it doesn't fit me at all. I mean, yeah. But so yeah, everybody, we're gonna end with the of course we end it. We end it with the boozy. Here we go. Bye, folks.
Yay!
Have a good night.
Live from Canton, it's the place to be with John C. and Eric D. They've got the scoop, the laughs, the drive. It's time for Canton Chronicle Live. But wait, what's this? The script's gone rogue. A twist so wild it broke the code. Tonight's the night, so raise your noise. It's Boozy and the boys. Boozy's taking charge, the queen of the scene, with sass, class, and a martini sheen. John and Eric, just background noise on Boozy and the boys. So grab your drink, your tea, your vibe. It's chaos, truth, and a Canton tribe. One night only, so don't miss the ride. It's Canton Chronicle Noise.